Go New York, go New York, go! Go New York, go New York, go! Oh, I'm sorry, this isn't a Nick channel. This is Tim's New York Giants Right Talk, brought to you by the mighty FanDuel. That's FanDuel.com, the number one sports book in America. Oh my God, a little piece of hair is moving. What should we talk about today? I don't know. Is there any topics out there anyone wants to touch? Is there a subject we need to broach? Is there something that we need to pontificate about today? Oh my God. I'm literally just trying to and I'm gonna preface this right from the beginning, right from jump. This is not a political commentary. We're not gonna sit there and pontificate about who's got the better candidate, who is better to run the country. We're going to keep this. That's right, Mr. Rodriguez. Let's go, New York. Shut up and dribble. I actually used that the other day. I said that the other day. I said it yesterday. It's so those that don't know, there could be a few out there that don't even, I don't even like basketball, but I'm watching the Knicks because the Knicks are fun to watch right now. For those that do not know, there might be people that aren't astute in reference to current events because people have jobs, lives, and careers. So I totally understand that. But and I'm going to say this now in this channel, we've said this a million times before. We don't run away from the fire. We run into the fire because we are monumentally stupid here. So we don't avoid the subjects of racism and politics and sports and all that. But so I guess it was the other day. What was it? Friday? I think it's Friday. President Trump had a rally in New York, somewhere in New York. I don't even know where it's in New York. And Jaxson Dart introduced the president. And he didn't say anything political. He didn't say anything that would be controversial. He just said, here's the 45th, 47th president. And, it's my honor because it is the president. So it doesn't matter if you agree with the president or disagree with whom is the president. He's still the president of the United States, two-time president of the United States. So yes, it should still be considered an honor. If Joe Biden would have asked me to introduce him, I would have said it's an honor to introduce him because you know what? How many times you get a chance to introduce the president? So we said this, had the go New York chant. And then you thought that was the end of that. Oh, but no. Yeah, but no. Of course not. Because of the fact that I just saw it a second ago. Dylan says, "Oh, the internet warriors all sat there."
Oh, won't somebody please think of the children?
Somebody please think of the children. An NFL quarterback has his own opinion. Oh, no. And it's an opinion that we don't agree with. So we are going to take to the internet, take to X, and listen, I'm not going to lie to you. I was dropping bombs on Twitter and just watching them explode and leaving because I like doing that. I like stirring the pot, especially on X, and just kind of walking my ass away and then coming back and watch the carnage. But all of a sudden, there's these people. Jaxson Dart's no longer my quarterback. I can never support the New York Giants. I'm not a New York Giants fan anymore. This is reprehensible. I can't even talk. This is so bad. We've said it before.
Oh, won't somebody please think of the children?
Oh my God. What has he done? He has destroyed himself in New York. He has done everything that you don't want your quarterback to do. He is horrid. He is, I'm sorry. What was this? That's the Harbaughs. That's Jim and John at the White House a month ago. So all the pearl clutching Giant fans.
Oh, won't somebody please think of the children?
had nothing to say about this.
My hypocrisy goes only so far.
But it's Jaxson Dart that they are dropping their rage and their ire against, because he had the audacity of having his own opinion. How dare you? You are a robot. Do as we say, not as we do. And then I love it, the people that have never been in a fucking NFL locker room. Most of the content creators must be never know nothing about it. This is going to destroy the locker room. The locker room is ruined. It's wrecked. You're not allowed to use the term retarded anymore. You evidently know nothing about NFL locker rooms. You evidently, because there's no more continuity. There's no kumbaya. There's no more love. Where's the love? I'm going to give you guys a little hint. There are so many divided locker rooms throughout the annals of sports history that people just didn't like each other. Especially if you have 53 men in a locker room, 70 at times. You don't like everybody. 86 Mets had a divided locker room. You had the Keith Hernandez dirtbag size, where you had the drugs, the women, the alcohol, the partying, and then you had the Gary Carter side, where they made fun of, like Gary Carter, Lee Mazzilli, Kelvin Chapman, all these other guys that they kind of made fun of. But when you got on the field, it didn't matter. 85 Bears. Offense hated the defense. Hated the defense. Defense hated the offense. You basically had two head coaches in reference to the venerable Mike Ditka and Buddy Ryan. First time in Super Bowl history that two coaches and a non-head coach were carried off the field. And they talked about how much they hated it. The 81 Giants, who made the miraculous playoff run after not seeing the playoffs for years. The defense hated the offense because the offense couldn't score. There was a great story of them coming off the field, the offense coming off the field, and one of the defense players said, listen, or I should rephrase, the offense coming on the field, defense coming off the field, and the defense told the offense, listen, you hold them, we'll try to score on defense. You don't need this symbiotic kumbaya relationship. You don't need to sit there and fucking hold hands and say, we just love each other. It's nothing but love. In life, like in sports, you're going to find people you disagree with. You're going to find people you hate. You are going to be stuck working with those people. And you know what you do because you are a professional? You work with them. You have people that have differences of opinions. You have different political views. But you know what you do? You work with them. You don't sit there and say, I am no longer going to support this guy anymore because he has a view that I disagree with. And I love it because, and I even mentioned to people on X that when you do that, it's called segregation. It's called racism because you are disallowing someone else's opinion because you don't agree with it, and they all have to conform into what you want them to be so you can like them. That's the definition of racism. Racism does not have to be just skin color. It doesn't have to be ethnicity. Racism could be a lot of different things. You can debate. And I will say this, you can debate. Was it a brilliant idea of Jaxson Dart? Was there a thought process in Jaxson Dart's mind that probably should have said, yeah, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't do this. And I love it because then you have the people that are, I would say, minutely in media say, well, his PR team really blew this one up. You know, it's funny. Not you sometimes have an agent. You don't have a PR team at times. And maybe, just maybe, it's what the kid wanted to do. So, but you can say, maybe he should, you can debate. maybe he should not have done this because of the hyperbolic political climate on really one side. And you could guess what side it is, because you could guess someone's political orientations just by their outrage. It's not that difficult to figure out. I guarantee you, if Kamala Harris was president and Jaxson Dart went to introduce Kamala Harris, there would be no issue. There would be no issue whatsoever. Because people on the right don't really fucking care because we have jobs. And the people on the left will be placated. So that's fine. And then you have a segment of people that says, well, you should not bring political views into sports. Someone want to talk to the NFL about the end zones and the backs of the helmets and stuff like that? No one's always going to agree on everything. Deb says, I always point to the Bill Clinton, George H. Bush relationship. Lots to learn there. And I'm just literally, yeah, you're right. And I'm literally just going to say this. It's not, it truly is.
Hypocrisy goes only so far.
And I don't like calling out people, especially other giant content creators.
Warning, sarcasm. Warning, sarcasm.
But I see these fucking morons. Some of these fucking morons. You got New Jersey giant girl, whatever the fucker is, Adriana, who posts the video, I am no longer a fan of Jaxson Dart. Well, let's think. This is a girl that got let go from her job and instead of getting a new one, just decided to be a giant content creator. So you kind of know what side of the fence that she falls on in reference politically. And this is the same woman who works on Bleav as well, who I don't think has any talent. Chat GPT analyst. But her outrage is so great that she is no longer going to support Jaxson Dart. But supporting this guy is okay. Supporting the head coach is okay. And the head coach did this after he signed with the Giants.
Hypocrisy goes only so far.
But there's no outrage. There's no, I can't be a Giant fan anymore because John Harbaugh went to the White House and he's the head coach of the Giants. Adrian will be screaming Dart's name first. Her first. The first time he throws a touchdown, the first time he wins, she's going to be creaming herself. And she's going to be back in the Giants camp. Because you do this shit for the likes, the clicks, and the beeps and the boops, and you're not supposed to keep your political affiliations into your content because you are covering the team, so it shouldn't matter. But it only matters because of the fact that you're trying to get this. And you're trying to be successful. And to people's point, Steve Kerr has gone off on left-leaning rants for years. Until recently, I think they really sat there and said, hey, listen, Steve, you got to calm this shit down. Because he has. Steve Kerr basically will never call out China for Nike and the sweatshops and the children that work there because of the fact that they get this. They're getting the bag. They're getting the money. So they'll sit there and tell you everything that's wrong here, but you got an 8-year-old making Nikes in China for 75 cents a day, but you'll never say anything bad about that because it's going to go against your wallet. I don't fucking care if I lose subscribers. I don't fucking care. Doing right has no bounds. Actually, I am a fiscal conservative. And that's the other thing. Immediately people would be like, well, you're a Trump MAGA supporter. I'm a fiscal conservative. I like money. I like money that is well spent. I like money that is put into the right causes. I like just having my government not have too much overreach and not overspend on shit they shouldn't. I've told people before, I voted for Bill Clinton twice. I rallied for him the second time because at the end of his first term, he really changed his perspective. He became a deal maker. He worked across the aisle. So that's the other thing. People will sit there and say, well, you're this, you're that. And then people, like I said, I'm not getting into politics here because of the fact that that's a different segment. I'm a liberal. I'm a liberal or a conservative. I'm a fiscal conservative. That's what I am, Deb. I'm a fiscal conservative. So people can think whatever they want to think, but you don't know me. And this is the other thing with people. You don't fucking know Jaxson Dart. You don't. This is a white kid from a rich family in Utah who is a Christian who went to Ole Miss. Could you guess what his political affiliations of his family might be? And like I said, people don't know me. You don't know nobody except for Jaxson Dart's friends and families and teammates. You don't know Jaxson Dart from a fucking hole in the wall. So for you to sit there and push your political values and opinions on a sports figure, I'm a little concerned. And people will say this, and I've said this before, I'm not a Jaxson Dart fan. I'm still not. But I'm not a Jaxson Dart fan yet because I don't know if he's our quarterback. I see a lot of issues. I see a lot of problems. I see a lot of deficiencies in his game. But his political affiliation and what he does off the field does not affect me and does not affect my opinion or the fact that I'm going to follow him or not on the field because I'm not a fucking child. There are two different worlds. There's the sports world and there is the political world. I'm not a fucking child. I can differentiate the both. And I don't have to agree with someone politically to sit there, and I'm not going to sit there and say, well, I'm no longer a Giant fan. I'm no longer a Jaxson Dart fan. Get off your fucking high horse. For the love of God. Let's talk about Abdul Carter for a second. So I'm going to get to the chat. I'm going to have people on because we're not afraid of this shit. In 103 years, the Giants have really never had a black starting quarterback. We've talked about that a million times before. Abdul Carter. Hey, Abdul. Remember when you wanted to wear 56? Who was at the Trump rally during the election year? Lawrence Taylor and Otis Anderson. O.J. Anderson. We're both there at a Trump rally in New Jersey. But you wanted to wear 56. I think I have more of an issue with Abdul Carter. Not because he's a Muslim, not because when he got drafted, he wore the big Muslim thing on his chain. I have no problem with that. That's his religion. That's what he believes. I'm not going to push my beliefs on anyone else. Yes, I do a show called Fuck Your Sensitivity, The Mad Ramblings of a Gen Xer, but it's all my opinions. I'm not trying to sway anyone to a different way. On this channel, I don't try to sway anyone. People sit there and say, your opinion on this channel never changes because of the fact that it's my opinion. But Abdul Carter comes out and puts the post out. And he's saying, dude, I thought this shit was AI. What the fuck, man? You're a fucking rat. I didn't like Abdul Carter. But again, I don't like Abdul Carter because of his game. Now I'm seeing a little insight into his personality. You're a fucking rat. What happens in the locker room stays in the locker room. If you have an issue with your teammates, and I know this is a different era, you do not blast that teammate on Twitter and then basically not follow up and walk away. You are a fucking rat. In the old days, and like talking when I played when I was around the NFL, you never went outside the locker room, ever. Especially for something like this. Never, ever. Because all you're doing is starting more controversy with your teammates. I guarantee you there is a divided locker room between one side of the party and the other side of the party politically. And for you to inject your own beliefs into a conversation outside the locker room instead of manning up and going and talking to Jaxson Dart like a man, you are a fucking rat. Back in the 80s and the 90s, they dealt with rats. They dealt with locker room people like this. But now it's okay because it's expected, because he has a social media platform and he has to give you their feelings. That's an issue. I have an issue with that. I don't have an issue with someone having a different political opinion. I don't have an issue with the NFL pontificating and injecting their own politics. And in reverse, the NFL did the same thing to Colin Kaepernick. The NFL did not like the ideology of Colin Kaepernick. And they basically banned him, which was wrong. Because he spoke against things that the NFL found to be contrary to the brand. It's contrary to the brand, so they banned Colin Kaepernick. They did the same thing to Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow got a memo from the NFL that says you are not allowed to pray on the field during the game. You can go on the sideline and pray, but you can't go on the field and do it after a touchdown, after a big play. You can't go on the field and do that during the game because it alienates a segment of the brand. This has been going on for years. I can easily be, Coach Dave, see, Dave, this is your thing. You are injecting your own opinion, and I'm not sitting there asking you fucking questions because you're injecting your own opinion. This is my opinion. You don't like my opinion. I've said it before, and I love you, Coach Dave. Get the fuck out. Because I'm allowed to have my opinion because everyone else is. I am just sitting there telling you truth. And Coach Dave, if you have been around NFL locker rooms, college locker rooms, you understand what a rat is. A rat is the one that goes behind your backs and talks to the media. A rat is the one that goes behind your back and talks to other people. A rat is the one that goes around your back and does not come to you man to man directly and ask you and talk to you. That's a fucking rat. Yes, I got a problem with that, Coach Dave. So get the fuck out.
Get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
I'm not going to sit there and have someone say, I'm going to allow you to give me your opinion, but don't tell me my opinion. And I'm going to say it again. Like I said, I thought Colin Kaepernick at the end of his career was a horrible quarterback. You can debate he was on horrible teams. You can debate this, but he was banned by the NFL. He was blackballed by the NFL because of his political beliefs, because it didn't fit the brand. So you took the guy's livelihood away from him because it was a distraction from the brand of the NFL. And they did the same thing with Tim Tebow. That's the problem. You didn't like but you didn't like, and this is the other thing, you didn't like what Colin Kaepernick said, but you let people kneel on the sidelines for Colin Kaepernick. If that was the case, why didn't you just let him back in the league? Why didn't you just tell teams it's okay to bring him back? And yes, I am more upset with Colin Kaepernick. I am more upset with Abdul Carter. And I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to tell you why. Tell me why. Ain't nothing but a heartache. I'm going to tell you why. As you're hitting the like button, because we don't have enough likes. I'm going to tell you why. Because we have 105 people over there. We got 100 something over there. I'm going to tell you why I have more of an issue with Abdul Carter. Because it's a football issue. You sit there and you pontificate how Jaxson Dart is dividing the locker room.
Won't somebody please think of the children?
But it has nothing to do with football. Jaxson Dart did it outside the locker room. You could agree with he did. You can disagree with what you did. I don't care. Doesn't matter to me because it's your own belief. I got a problem with a football player calling out a teammate in social media. That's what I have a problem with. That is football to me. That is football. That shows a level of maturity that he does not have, Abdul Carter. This is the same guy that falls asleep during. I love it because Abdul Carter, third overall pick, who had a pedestrian rookie season, 4 sacks, didn't really come on until he was playing poor competition, is the hero and poster child to some people for calling out a teammate. You don't call out a teammate. You don't. Never. You never go to the media and call out one of your teammates. Never. I don't care if it's 1991 or 2026. You don't do that. The locker room and this is for all the giant content creators that have never played the game, never been in an NFL locker room, never been in a college locker room. I'm going to give you a little piece of advice. The locker room is your sanctity. The locker room is your sanctuary. You need to feel like you can go into your locker room and not have to worry about what you say. When Coach Gruden got suspended for those emails and what he said, keep it in the house. You keep it in house. When Coach Gruden got suspended for those emails, everyone once again was just so, oh my God, let's think of someone. What about the children? And I read the emails. I was like, that's nothing that I haven't heard in an NFL locker room before. NFL locker room will make a hardened Marine blush. Some of the shit that goes on, some of the shit that is said in there. That is nothing that is there. And I love it because I don't know recently, because I haven't been in an NFL locker room during a game in years. But you would say things in an NFL locker room that you would not say in general public. You would use you would call people the G word, you call people the R word, you would all this shit. You would make inappropriate jokes. You would just, because it's men, it's a manly sport, it's a gladiator sport, and men are being men. Because that's what you do. But you don't report on what is going on in the locker room. You don't report on that. And, Peter, here you go. I wasn't going to bring this up. I got a problem with neighbors, too. Reese was napping in a massage chair after practice, and neighbors went out and posted it. You don't do that. You don't violate the sanctity of the locker room. You don't. You don't sit there. You have a problem with a teammate. You know what you did? They put you would go out there and you would talk to your teammate. God forbid. And anyone that played in high school and college or in the pros will tell you this, especially in the 80s and the 90s and early 2000s. If you had a problem with a teammate, you better hope to God that the coaches didn't find out. Especially if you were an offensive lineman or a defensive lineman. Oh, dear Lord, there'd be some one-on-one drills. Back in the day in college, man, you went outside the locker room, the whole team got punished by running Oklahoma drills. Because you didn't just punish one person, because if you just punish the one person, that doesn't get the point across. The point would be you punish everybody. So that morose motherfucker knows he doesn't do that again. Because he'll have 52 other guys watching out for him. What does Lamar say? I'm not a fan of Trump either, but I'm not mad at Dart, and the politics are all crooks in my books. Just play good football and win. Nick Stover on fire. That sums it up. That literally fucking sums it up. I don't have to agree with you. I don't have to agree with you politically. I don't have to be. And this is the thing that it just kills me with these people that know nothing about NFL locker rooms. Well, they all have to get along together. There were players that I hated. There are players that I know hated me. I don't know why. I'm so wonderful.
Warning, sarcasm. Warning, sarcasm.
I have to put that in because I don't want to get canceled. I don't fucking care if I get canceled. Too fucking old, too fucking tired. Football is not politics. Politics is not football. What a player wants to do on his own time, away from the team, it's not like he said, hey, Trump, come to the locker room. Come hang out with me on the field after our practice. No, he went for an event. I think they're jealous of your hair, Tim. This is my network hair. I'm going on my rant now so I can so I can get a job on network. Knicks are playing great, brother. Been following the Knicks since '83, since I was a kid. I love the Knicks. I love the Knicks more than I love the Giants. I've said that a million times before. If they could pull this out, I don't even know what my mindset is going to be. I don't know what my mindset will be. I just want to get to the play. I just want to get to the finals. And I said, Zach, I was jokingly texting James Williams the other day and a few other people. I said, Knicks in 4. We're going to have the unicorn sweep. The unicorn is going to ride again. Ride, majestic unicorn, ride. We are going for the sweep. You know what I should have did? I should have put the comment section up here so everyone can read it. I'm going to get to everyone's comments because I want to know your thoughts. I'm giving you my thoughts. And like I said, I don't care what Jaxson Dart does. I don't care if he went to a rally for AOC. I don't care. It has nothing to do with football. It has nothing to do with anything that is going on inside the giant. And for you to sit there and tell me, I no longer support Jaxson Dart, you need to drink a big tall glass and shut the fuck up because you're not a real fan. I supported Daniel Jones, the team. I didn't support Daniel Jones because I knew he was a bad quarterback. I supported the team for 5-6 years with Daniel Jones. I didn't sit there and say, I'm no longer a Giant fan because Daniel Jones has stolen $100 million from us and we've been one playoff win and he's got a losing record and he's always hurt. Never said that. I supported the team. And these are the same people that when the Giants start winning and Jaxson Dart's throwing touchdowns and running in touchdowns. Peter, you know what, Peter? I said it before. I agree. Have a Coke and a smile and shut the fuck up. Like I said to someone on X yesterday when he was bashing me, I said, dude, I looked in my pocket and I found $0. Because I don't care. I don't care of your opinion. I don't care what you think of me. I don't care if Jaxson Dart. I've said it before, and I've said it a million times before. People did not like Caleb Williams because he was black and people think he was gay. I'm going to say it. Because he wears nail polish and he cries on the sideline. He's hanging out with this guy. I've said it a million times before. I don't care if you wear a dress. I don't care if you wear nail polish. I don't care if you're from fucking Pluto. If you can throw the ball, get me touchdowns, and win me a Super Bowl, I don't care. Because it's not up to me to decide your lifestyle. It's not up to me to decide the person that you are. It's not up to me. It's not. It's my opinion of what you do does not matter because honestly, I don't know you. So why would I care? Why would I care that Mondani is going to the Knicks games? I think the Mets care because when he hugged Mr. and Mrs. Met, they lost 12 straight. They literally had to bring in a voodoo priest to exercise the stadium because of that. But if he would have went to introduce Mondani, I wouldn't care. I wouldn't even bring it up. I wouldn't say anything. It's a non-starter. You want to know why? Because a lot of people that have the same ideas and philosophies as me that are fiscal conservatives, we're busy. We're working. We're making money. We're trying to make our lives better. We use sports as an outlet, not sports to rage against, because I do not have the same political belief of my favorite player, but I am no longer going to be a Jaxson Dart fan because Jaxson Dart likes someone I disagree with. You are a fucking child. You are a child. And if you are a content creator and you're doing the same thing, or a beat writer, you are fucking idiots and you are children. We've said it right here. You need to drink. You need to have a Coke and a smile and shut the fuck up. It's football. That's what it is. It's football. That's it. It's a game. Sports are supposed to bring people together, not divide people. Kevin said the best. Abdul Carter should be worrying about his play more than his teammates' opinions. Abdul Carter should fucking worry that I'm watching them drop his ass into coverage. I saw, and I posted the video for the camp, and I'm like, oh, dear Lord. Abdul Carter needs to worry that he's got this guy on his fucking team. This is the guy that makes me think. And I love when people say, well, this is the guy we thought Abdul Carter was going to be. That's fucking insane. Tim, that's what I like about you. You're honest and real. Thank you, Michael. Again, this is just my opinion. Everyone can have a difference of an opinion. That's all right. But like, we banned Coach Dave for 10 minutes because of the fact that he's not allowing me to have my opinion. He's forcing his opinion on me and telling me why I'm wrong. This is my show, Coach Dave, not yours. This is the New York Giants Straight Talk on Bleav. She got rage baited. I know this sounds stupid, but what does that mean? What does rage baited mean? I know I'm old. Okay. What is, and Mrs. Online Big Blue must not be watching because she usually tells me when things are, or Zach does. What's rage? What does that mean that she got rage baited? And I'm actually being serious here. I would look it up. That's like when people send me, the acronyms and the letters. It's like, I forget what somewhere. It's like, and they don't answer anything. They just go TTLI. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? I go, Google, what does TTLI mean? I'm like, oh yeah, no time for this shit. Oh, here we go. Zach, thank you, Zach. Rage baited is to manipulate online tactics. They use intentionally inflammatory, offensive, or blatantly wrong content to deliberately provoke anger. I thought she got more stupid baited. Anyone that sits there and says, well, I got fired from my job and I got a severance package, so I just decided to be a giant content creator. That's the reason why to do it. Yeah, I agree. That's a great reason why. That's a great reason why to do it. That makes me want to follow you. Oh. Keep it in-house. Is it that difficult? I mean, seriously, is it that difficult, Abdul Carter? You keep this shit in-house. And I would really like the perspective of people. Again, it's your head coach. It's your head coach's brother. I don't know who that guy sitting in the chair is in the middle. They are Trump supporters. And I love when people are like, well, he's going to get it with Harbaugh. Okie dokie. You don't think that Dart probably cleared this with the Giants? You don't think he probably spoke to someone in the Giants public relations department? You don't think that? You don't think there might have been some talks and some considerations of him doing this event? You don't think this subject was approached? I saved all the clips of all the people and all their hysteria about how they're not going to be Jaxson Dart fans. They're not going to do this. They're not going to do that. And I saved all these clips because I'm going to play them during the season. because I do think Jaxson Dart will be, I don't know what amount of success he's going to have under Matt Nagy and Callahan and Harbaugh, but I do think he's going to be more successful than last year. And I love it because then you have people like, well, when he throws when he throws an interception, I'm going to cheer. Wow. What's fucking wrong with people? Thank you, Deb, for the kids, Tim. Thank you for using this platform to raise money for children for the Children's Hospital, the Philadelphia Children's Hospital. I can't even talk today. I'm so mad, but thank you. I appreciate it. Funny thing is, Andrea, and the Giants collective think their opinions actually matter or hold validity. Yes, you have a tennis player, a woman that got fired from her job and decided to be a content creator. Chris, who everyone knows, I told Chris years ago he needs to lighten up and get a blowjob. And Bad Dog. And Bad Dog's the only one in opinion. Bad Dog's the only one in that four that I respect because of the fact that he tells you he's a fan channel. He tells you straight up. You can agree with Bad Dog. You can disagree with Bad Dog. You can do anything you want about it. He tells you straight up he's a fan channel. So when Bad Dog changes his opinion like most people change underwear, I don't have a problem with it because he tells you I'm a fan channel. What's up, honey pot? Tells you I'm a fan channel. I don't have a problem with that. I'm not a fan channel. I'm a commentary channel, which means I'm just going to, and I've said this before, I look from the Giants' perspective from the outside in. I take the fan hat off because I have to. And I look at it from that perspective. I don't look at it from the perspective of that I'm a fan of the channel. And I tell people that. And that's why I only have closing on 13,000 subscribers, followers, whatever the fuck they're called. But I do get millions of downloads on the podcast. So, but I tell people up front, this is what I am. If Jackson Fart loses the locker room because of political BS, do the Giants need to get a new quarterback or pieces around him to boost his ego? No. Why would he? Why? Chris is way better than you. That's your opinion. And you're allowed to have your opinion. And I'm allowed to put your opinion up. But now I'm allowed to give my opinion. And I don't think you want that. So now that you've given my opinion, I will give you the opinion on your stupidity and your thought process because of the fact that you follow someone who's been wrong for the last 6 years about everything and claims to be an expert on everything, but it looks like the only thing he ever put on was a Big Mac and not a helmet. See, I'm allowed to have my opinion. Honeypot says, in regards to Carter, let's hope it's not just a continuous problem. I hope he learns from this. We talked about this. I don't know if you were around, Honeypot, a few minutes ago. We talked about this. I have bigger issue with Abdul Carter than I do Jaxson Dart. And my issue with Abdul Carter has nothing to do with political values, has nothing to do with race, has nothing to do with religion. It's the rat went out of the motherfucking locker room. You don't do that. You don't go outside the locker room ever. Ever. You don't. There are unwritten rules in sports. One of the unwritten rules, and maybe it's not even unwritten rules, you never violate the sanctity of the locker room. Ever. You never do that. Because then you can no longer trust anyone in the locker room. You can't trust if someone's going to go outside the locker room. That's why I have more of an issue with that, because it's football related. Jaxson Dart's opinions politically, religiously, whatever, are his opinions. And he took that outside the locker room. He wasn't in the team facility, wasn't in the team building. He went to an event. He did what he wanted to do politically. And like I said, if he would have went for Mondani, if he would have went to an AOC event, if he went to any of those else, there would be no uproar. There would be nothing. Because The left would be placated and the right wouldn't care. Did you ever notice that most conservatives about these issues just don't care? But it's always the left that sits there and screams and pontificates how the world is ending, how everything is so horrid. And we've played it before.
Oh, won't somebody please think of the children?
It's going to keep saying it. The NFL is a business. The Giants are a business. Jaxson Dart is a player and a brand, a corporate personal brand. Same with Abdul Carter. Abdul Carter is a football player, not a very good one. A personal brand. He is a Muslim. He is everything else. And you're not shocked that Abdul Carter came out against and said, I'm against this. But you never go outside the locker room, ever. Ever. And people that don't get that are just people that don't get sports. Football, I never like using the analogy because there's really no comparison between the two. But football players have a bond. Not all of them, but a majority of them have a bond together, especially as people that have played together for such a long time. It's almost like the bond that you gain with someone that you went into combat with. And yes, they're two totally different perspectives. I'm not saying combat is football and football is combat. I'm just saying there is that bond that you have, men that have been in combat and people that got play football together. And that bond, sometimes you disagree with the people next to you. You don't have to like the people next to you, but there is a bond because you were in it together. You are 53 men with a sole purpose of winning the Super Bowl, winning the NBA championship. Go New York, go New York, go. Winning the NBA championship. You have a sole purpose. And that bond should never be broken by having someone it's like tug of war. You have 53 men pulling on a rope, pulling the city into a championship, and one of the 53 men just lets go of the rope. That's what Abdul Carter did. He violated the sanctity of the NFL locker room. What does Alex say here? What did you think of Carter saying, keep your narrative? He didn't start the narrative. He did. Abdul Carter is a child. I spoke to two people. I shouldn't say people. I spoke to two people that are in and around Happy Valley, Penn State. And I spoke to them. Actually, it was funny. Before this even dropped and all this broke, I spoke to him about Abdul Carter. I spoke to him about the conversation started with Theo Johnson because I was a bigger Tyler Warren fan, but a lot of people that work, the people that I talk to around Happy Valley will tell you or told me that Theo Johnson has the same amount of talent, if not maybe more than Tyler Warren. And Tyler Warren, I wanted the Giants trade down and get because I thought he'd be a perfect complement to whatever rookie quarterback they brought in, and he was for Daniel Jones. But they were like, he has the same talent. He has the same talent. But the difference is he does not have the same football mentality that Tyler Warren has. And then we started getting into Abdul Carter. And the one guy that I talked to was like, and I was like, okay, what does that mean? What's that face mean? And he was just like, listen, he goes, when things are good, Abdul Carter's fine. When things go bad, Abdul Carter's not fine. And Abdul Carter thinks he has more talent and deserves more than he probably should for a player of his pedigree. And I love it because the one guy said he's probably going to be an issue. And this was before any of this broke. And then he comes out and leaves the sanctity of the locker room. We are going to have a stream on Monday at 11:15. No, not Monday. Monday's Memorial Day. Tuesday. We're having a stream Tuesday at 11:15. I meant to tell you this. For people that know, we had talked about for 2 months that Joe Shane was going to get an extension after the draft. And I said that I didn't believe it. I didn't believe it was going to happen. I said it. I mean, I said I'm going to report it. I'm going to tell you. I personally don't think it's going to happen, but this is what people are telling me. And we talked about it for 2 months that he was going to get an extension after the draft. Well, the person that told me this sent me text messages on Friday's stream telling me the story behind the Joe Schoen extension. Now, we trust this guy's opinion because he's given it all the information that he's ever given us has usually been right. I'd say like 98% of the time is right. He's been right on the money. And we have proof of that, and you can go back and find, and I can tell you what videos, go back and find it. But we are. So, yes, AJ, I spoke to him via text yesterday before I started watching the series Monarch season 2. And he basically texted me what I can say. So I, on Tuesday, am going to read the text message of what he has allowed me to say in reference to how the Joe Schoen extension happened. Oh, you got to stay. This is like they always say. I always go back to Bull Durham and nuclear. Oh, that was a humdinger. It's going to be a humdinger on Tuesday. I have the information. And I have the validity of the information. Jaxson Dart went outside the locker room. No, he didn't go outside the locker room. Jaxson Dart was outside the locker room. Jaxson Dart is outside the locker room. He's not in the locker room. He's not telling Giant fans or content creators to support the president. He went out and introduced president because that was his belief. And that's when Abdul Carter went out. Like Hank said the best. I love LZT's response to Carter. That's some dirty work there, LT. Always a legend. Joe Spano says, I'm shocked that anyone would actually believe that any member of the roster is going to compromise their spot in earning power over Dart to going to a Trump rally. It's not happening. That's the other thing. People aren't going to just sit there. Yes, Mike James, we have put this out many times before. He just went to the White House after he became head coach of the Giants. Where is the outrage for the Giant idiots? The Giant collective idiots? Where's the outrage for them? Where's the outrage from the tennis player? Where's the outrage for this photo? It's all over the place. Where's the outrage for Lawrence Taylor and O.J. Anderson going to a Trump rally? Where's the outrage? Who's thinking of the children? It's selective outrage. It's rage baiting. I thought rage baiting would be something different. I thought rage baiting would be like that you say something to get someone in a rage. Or maybe that is what it meant. That is, well, I don't think he sounds like Joe Biden. He doesn't fall asleep. He stayed awake for the entire town hall. He was in a public event in May. And somehow people are like, I am no longer a Jaxson Dart fan. I'm no longer a Giant fan. Then you were no Jaxson Dart fan. Or hit the fucking like button, people. We got 42 fucking likes. I won't be, if I don't get 100 likes here, my wife's not going to let me do the show on Tuesday and give you all the breaking information of what really happened on Joe Schoen's contract. He went to an event in May. People are upset. He's a white kid from Utah with a rich family who's Christian who went to Ole Miss. And you're shocked that he is a conservative? Really? He flamed out at USC and had to go to Ole Miss. And you're shocked. You're stunned. You're befuddled that he's a conservative. Yes, Mrs. Online Big Blue said, this is eating into our time, me and her time. So get the fucking likes up. She doesn't like when I read her text messages, but I'm going to read her text message because I think this is very astute and apropos. She goes, this is correct because it's eating into our time. Get the motherfucking likes up. Well, she didn't say the motherfucking part. She doesn't curse as much as I do. Well, she's got a potty mouth at times. Get the likes up. Glad Joe Shane reveal is Tuesday. I could be there live. Sounds like it's a great story. It is literally, and I love it because I always hate when people do this. I hate when people send me fucking paragraphs. It is literally 7 paragraphs. Hold on. Is it 7? It is literally 7 paragraphs long in a text message. It's 7 paragraphs long, this information. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to give them something to talk about. Let's talk about the Giants. When we drafted Neighbors and Carter, I had a funny feeling things were going to go, uh-oh. Yeah, and I love Michael, head coach and quarterback, MAGA. Deal with it. What does it matter what their political affiliation is? What does it matter? Why does it matter to anybody? I mean, truly, what is the rationale for you to be upset that someone doesn't agree with you politically that you've never met that's a sports figure? Why does that bother you? I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I'm going to let you people in a little secret. Here's a little secret. Here's a little secret for you, a little tidbit. More than half the country voted for the current president. So if you go by that logic and you take a 53-man roster, probably more than half of the people in there support the president, but they just don't want to say it because they don't want the Jaxson Dart backlash. When did Trump ever say he was? When did Dart ever say he was anti-Trump? Why did the dumb fans think he? It doesn't matter. That's the thing, though. It just doesn't matter. I have no thoughts on that here. I have no thoughts. If you want to hear my thoughts on things like that, you go to Fuck Your Sensitivity, the Mad Ramblings of a Gen Xer. I got to bring it back. Oh, my God. I laugh, though, because I haven't done a Fuck Your Sensitivity show since end of December. And evidently, the last episode garnered like 20,000+ downloads. So I'm being bugged to do more episodes. So if you want to hear my political views and stuff like that, then you go there. This is a sports channel. I don't have any political views here. He wasn't calling out a teammate. You're right. It's funny how people threw around the word racism when there was no sign of it. Pete, you know what's racist? I'm going to you know what's racist? And we talk about racism in sports in the show all the time because I don't care. The majority of my family is Hispanic and Native American. The majority of my friends are Black and Hispanic. So I talk about racism all the time with people of color because I don't care. But I'm going to tell you this. When you rage against somebody because they have a different political opinion, ideology, or just have a difference of what you think, and you rage against them and you gather others to rage against them as well, that is called racism. And then you want to segregate him, that is called racism. That is a clear textbook definition of racism. You don't agree with me politically or ideology, I'm totally against you and I want you gone. I want you somewhere else. That's racism in a nutshell. I've said it before. We've had quarterbacks here with probably liberal political affiliations. I don't care. There's probably players on the Knicks that support Mondani and AOC and all that. I don't care. Because what they do and what they believe off the court does not affect how I feel about them on the court. Because I'm not 11. I'm not a child. One thing is totally different than the other. I love Dartmoor, F. Carter. I've said it before. I still don't know if Jaxson Dart's your quarterback. I'm not going to like him more because I'm a fiscal conservative that he went to a Trump rally. I'm not going to like him more because I still have issues with his game. But that's the point. I have issues with his game. I have issues what he does on the field, not what he does off the field. Yes, he did. If he spoke in the locker room, none of us would know about it because of us, the business, how he leans politically. No, he did. I mean, you can have, you're a sports fan, you can have a political view and you can go outside the locker room and express that political view. He did not go in the locker room and tell people, you need to vote for Trump. What's up, James? That's true, Peter. It's usually the ones that are racist that throw around the word racism. Everyone's racist, but the people that want to segregate people and alienate people because they don't agree with them politically. You have one political candidate that wants to take all Zionists and all these political Zionists and all these other people and put them in camps. But she's leading somewhere in the Democratic Party for Congress. Hank says that dude was trying to rage bait you when he said Chris was better than you, Tim. Oh, that would be rage baiting. All right, thank you. Thank you, Hank the Tank. Thank you. But do you like how I handled that? You like how I kind of flipped the script on that? I kind of did like a little, kind of a little rope-a-dope, little shuffling, kind of kept my hand. You always keep your hands up. Always keep your hands up. Give us the crumbs to Angry Black Man. I'm going to see if the Angry Black Man's around because I like to talk to him. See, that's rage baiting. But I also know you're just see, here's the thing. See, when you say something like that, then I just know you're joking. That's like saying a cheeseburger is better than eating shit. There you go. Racism is an argumentative crutch for the ill-informed and naive. Better looking? Nobody's better looking than this bro ham. Ow! And my hair isn't even good today because it's fucking raining. Idiots are fine with Tish being in the Epstein files, but soon as Trump gets involved, they can't root for the Giants. Trump derangement syndrome is real no matter how you feel about him. And that's, you know what the other thing is? It's like it's also the misinformation that I think a lot of people have issues with, because you talk about the Epstein files. And according to Axios in the New York Post, he was mentioned 33,000 times in the Epstein files. Well, here's the problem. It was never Trump that was emailing him. It was the fact that Epstein was obsessed with Trump, obsessed with him. And Trump never emailed Epstein, never did anything. But Epstein was infatuated with Trump. People forget that, and this is all documented, Trump threw Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago because of comments and things that he was saying, things that he did not like. Trump actually called the FBI on Epstein and gave a deposition in reference to Epstein before he even got convicted of the things that he did. And that's like when people call Trump a racist. It's amazing. The black entertainment world loved Trump till he became president. The gay community is always against Trump, but if you go back into history, especially in the early 2000s, the gay community was not allowed to hold public events in hotels and things like that. You know who was the first person to say, I don't care, have your event here at one of my resorts? Was Trump. But I also think it's the derangement of the fact that they miscue facts so greatly that they just don't understand. Here we go. Her says, I don't care if my quarterback is a Democrat or Republican, as long as I've said it before. I don't fucking care. You could be from Pluto. You could be, and that's what I love it. I said I think some people were against Caleb Williams because they think he's gay. And I don't care. He paints his nails. So what? He wants to wear a dress. So what? You saw what he did for the Bears? You saw how close he got the Bears to the pinnacle, to the top of the mountain? I've said it before. You could be gay from Pluto and wear a dress As long as you're throwing me touchdowns on the field, I don't give a shit. Doesn't matter to me. I want to see my team win. I don't care if you're black, white, green, Jamaican, Scandinavian, which would kind of be cool if we had a Scandinavian quarterback. That'd be pretty neat. Yo, I really don't care who we voted for. Get some touchdowns. Honeypot fucking gets it. Don't care you fuck, as long as you could throw me into the end zone. And I'm still not even 100% sold that Jaxson Dart's going to be able to do that yet. And I'm not going to support him more because now he comes out for Trump. I honestly didn't even know that John Harbaugh was a conservative until I saw this picture. I didn't know John and Jim were conservatives. Makes sense. But where's a rage against the head coach? Where's the rage against the savior of the Giants? Where's that rage? Oh, we have selective rage. That's right. Tim, you were now super bullish on Dart and going to give up. He injured neighbors. No, he did injure neighbors. Jaxson Dart threw a hospital ball. He also injured Cam Scatterbo. I'm not going to change from that. He threw a hospital ball, and I don't have the video. Why don't I have the video? Oh, I had to delete the video because I had to load more. What does more mean? No, I know what more means. I don't know, and I know now you're just trying to rage bait me. I learned that today. He did. He threw neighbors into a hospital ball. He puts the ball 5 yards ahead of neighbors to the outside of his shoulder towards the sideline. Neighbors doesn't blow out his ACL. He throws the ball to Cam Scatterbo on the inside instead of on the outside and behind him. Cam Scatterbo doesn't wreck his ankle. That doesn't change. What does that have to do with anything? Tell me what a 30% approval rating has to do with anything. And you understand that approval ratings are skewed because one party will give you 80% and the other party will give you 10%. So what does that have to do, D Black? What does that have to do with anything? Explain it to me. What does it have to do with anything? What does it have to do with football besides you being stupid? You know what your approval rating for me is? 2, because I don't deal with fucking morons.
Get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
I'm not going to deal with idiots. What do we got? Ant says, Tim has been the best on the subject. We don't care about your political opinions. If you want people to agree with me, then I'll start a cult. Most of the people think we are a cult. But you don't have to agree with me politically. You don't have to agree with my views outside of football. You don't have to agree with my views on football. I think when we disagree, I think that's better. I think that makes for better content. People like when I go off. People like when I get a little fucking antsy and a little bit crazy. People enjoy that because it's entertaining. It's entertaining. And that's what football is supposed to be. Football is supposed to be entertaining. Sports is supposed to be an outlet so you can sit there, and if you're having issues in your life and you're just having a bad fucking day, you can flick on the Knicks and watch them win. And feel good about your team and good about something for 2.5 fucking hours instead of having to worry about fucking morons going, MAGA's a cult. He's got a 30% approval rating. I hate Jaxson Dart because he doesn't like who I like. You're a fucking child then. Clint Eastwood, Heartbreak Ridge. Don't go away, man. Just go away. You're a fucking child. Trump opens it up everyone because everyone's money is green, so it doesn't matter that. You're right. Thank God for the Knicks. Yes, thank God for the Knicks. So this nonsense can stay in the background where it belongs. I agree. These socialist, progressives, lefts are a cult too. They are. They truly are. Everything you can say that everything politically in every political party is cult-esque because each side thinks the other side is brainwashed. The one great equalizer that should bring everyone together is sports. And now we have to deal with fucking morons that are like, I'm not going to like him anymore because of this, because he doesn't agree with me politically. Like I said before, I got more problems with Abdul Carter going outside the sanctity of the locker room. You don't do that. You don't do this. Keyshawn the Bruce, I love it. I don't talk politics because I don't vote. And I can't change anything anyways. I said, you know what? I didn't vote. I didn't vote the second Trump or the Trump Biden election. I didn't vote because I wasn't on board with really either one's political policies. So I didn't vote. But that's just my opinion. And I was like, well, listen, if to your point, if the country's not going to be made better, I'm not going to vote for either one of the idiots. Don't forget to hit that like button. We're only at 66 likes. If we get less than that, I can't play. I'm not going to play on. I won't be able to play on Thursday, and you will not get detailed information in regards to how the Joe Shane negotiation happened. And like I said, guys, this is from something and someone that has told us shit before for years and has always been right. Always been right. Sports and music should unify people. I agree. Tim, feel like with the win yesterday, Cavs are giving up. The Cavs gave up in the fourth quarter again. I don't want to hear that they're gassed. They were gassed. They gave up in the fourth quarter. Knicks played the overtime games as well. I was joking when I said the Knicks in 4. I was talking to someone in a supermarket yesterday, and we were talking about the Knicks. I was like, Knicks in 4, baby. But now it's a possibility because I do think I think the Cavs are toast. I think they're done. I think you stick a fork in them. I think their heart was taken out in game 1 and game 2. And then when you cut up a clunker in game 3, yeah, I think you're done. I don't think you're toast. I think I'm more concerned. You know what the thing is? I want to play Oklahoma. I want to play Oklahoma City. I don't want anything to do with San Antonio. The Knicks match up extremely well against OKC. San Antonio, I got some concerns. I got some concerns with San Antonio, but I think the Knicks take the ship if we're up against OKC. I'm hearing gas will touch $6. Bro, makes it hard to drive from Long Island to Jersey. So when gas was at $6 under Biden, did you decide you hated the Giants? And gas is only artificially inflated, not because of a lack of oil, not because of the Straits of Hormuz. It's because of the commodity traders. You understand that, right? It's the people that are speculating on commodities that drive up the price of oil, not the actual oil production or the amount of oil that's around it, because there's so much oil, it doesn't matter. It's them speculating on that oil is going to go up. That's what speculators do. That's what drives up the price of oil. OPEC has already come out and said it. You have other countries in the UAE already come out and said they're going to produce more oil. So one factor does not have to do with a factor of the other. I like the San Antonio matchup. I don't. There's nothing. It really doesn't. I'm not going to go watch Fuck Your Sensitivity to Mad Ramblings of Jaxson. I may drop a Memorial Day episode tomorrow. But it has nothing to do with the Straits of Hormuz. It has nothing to do with the war. It has nothing to do with any of that. It's oil speculators driving up the price because oil commodities should never have been placed on the commodities market, should not be openly traded because of the fact that it can be artificially manipulated. That's why you see it at oil is $100 a barrel. And then something happens and it drops down to 80 in a day. That's because the oil speculators are making their money and taking it to other parts of commodities. That's what they do. The moment the peace deal is signed, the moment they say the Straits of Hormuz is open, oil will drop $30 in a day. Not that all of a sudden more oil came into the market. It's because the speculators now do not see money or investments in oil prices. That's it. It's profit. You're going against capitalism here, Tim. No, that's what it is. That's part of capitalism. But oil should not be traded as a commodity because it can be artificially inflated. Gold is another example. Gold, to me, I'm okay with it being traded on the commodities market, gold, palladium, platinum, silver, because that's a precious metal. And there's only so much of it. So that's why the price goes up. My 401k is doing awesome. I'm with you. I'm coming in late. What did Carter say about Dart and Trump? Basically, Carter came out on a tweet and said, bro, I thought this was AI generated. Basically, how could you do this? What were you thinking? It's a Bush League thing. They've already talked about suspending the gas tax, which would then lower prices. It's just like I said, you know what it is? It's politics, economics, and sports are probably the most misunderstood topics that a human can discuss, because all of them have a visceral experience and a visceral reaction by emotion. It's not controlled by thought. Some people it is. It's not controlled by actual facts. It's controlled by what they perceive to be the issue, and morally, and more than likely, it's because of the fact that people don't know what the issue is, and they only get the snippet from TikTok, and they're totally wrong, but that's their moral outrage. That's it. Yeah, bigger flopper, no match for, and I got no problem with him. Like I said, Shea, I'm fine with Shea, man, but we're gonna take. But we're talking about the fucking Giants here. All right, we're only at 7. I need 75 likes. I'm gonna open the phone lines because I want to get other people's thoughts and opinions. I'm gonna open this is like my radio show. I'm gonna open up the phone lines right now. Here we go. Come on in. Let's talk Carter. Let's talk Dart. Give me your opinion. Joe Spano says, the best thing about today's live is Tim's explanation of the commodities market. I've learned things the last several months that has helped me in my portfolio. And to be honest, my favorite color is green. My favorite color is green too. My favorite color is green as well. My favorite letter in sports is a W. And that's what I want. And that's what I care about. What's up, Johnny Rico? What's your opinion? Or did you give me your opinion? I missed it. Tell me why. Tim, what are you saying? Biden's went up during a pandemic that was self-induced by our leadership and is not the same. Well, I don't want to talk about that, but the American Rescue Act overinflated the economy. And you had too many dollars. You printed. First of all, you don't want to print that much money, but you have too many dollars chasing less goods. So when you have too many dollars on the market chasing a small amount of goods, that creates inflation. And when your supply chain is hurt by a pandemic, you can't flood the market with dollars that you just printed, because that increases inflation. I'm not going to get into stagflation or any of that, but that's what that does. Sorry. Joe Spano spot. All right, brother. Explain to the people. Explain to the morons. Not in here, because no one in this chat's a moron. But explain to the other morons how violating the sanctity of the locker room in sports. You're an old guy. You understand from the 90s. You get it. How violating the sanctity of the locker room by going outside the locker room is worse than Jaxson Dart going to a political event.
Oh, it's not even close. You laid it out perfectly. It's the old, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Yep. What happens in this locker room stays in this locker room. You don't take it to the press. You don't take it outside. We deal with it in here as a family. And if you violate that, man, we ain't going to like you. Once you violate that, you got problems. And I think you pointed out earlier in this, I think one of the things you pointed out is we ain't just going to discipline you if you go outside the sanctity. We discipline everybody. It's coaches learn from the military. And when one guy screws up, they don't punish one guy because nobody learns anything. They punish everybody because then what happens is the organization polices itself and says, hey, if you screw up, we all screw up and we all get punished, and none of us want to get punished. So you get your ass back in gear, or we're going to put it back in gear for you. That's how it works. I've
talked about it before. In college, we had an issue. And I don't want to, I'm not going to get into what the issue was, but we had an issue with two teammates. Mm-hmm. And the coaching staff got a hold of it. The positional coaches got a hold of it. And this happened in the evening, and the next day, and people that are old timers will remember this. The next day, the entire team was running Oklahoma drills. Yeah. Now, if you've ever run an Oklahoma drill, this is basically a coach's way of testing your toughness, your ability and leverage, and kind of your willingness to fight. And you're just basically pitting either offensive blockers against ball carriers, defensive linemen against offensive linemen. You're pitting the team against each other. And it is one of the most intense drills if done properly. And it's something you don't want. It's like shuttle drills. You don't want to do shuttle drills, but you never want to do Oklahoma drills because you're basically just beating the shit out of your other teammates. And that is the purpose and the goal of that drill. And that's why they made us do that. Because of the fact that it was like two people were stupid. They went outside the sanctity of not only the locker room, but the team. So we are going to punish everyone else. So when these morons do it again, I don't need to, as a coaching staff, I don't need to take care of this shit. My team is going to take care of it for me.
And that's the ultimate goal, is the team polices itself and we coach the team. We instill that in them. So that's how it's handled. And, as far as it's a couple of things, and you've alluded to it, and I'll probably touch on a lot of things a little bit differently than you said it, but they're the same thing. If you think the 53 guy, and right now it's 90, but ultimately it'll be the 53 on, before opening day that matter. If you think all 53 of those guys like each other, it's just like wherever you work, John Smith and Mary Jones and whoever else is watching and listening. Do you like all the people you work with? No. You have a group of people maybe you go out to lunch with. You have a group of people you can't stand. But you're not going to stop working there because you don't like people, because nobody gives up their money and nobody gives up their spot. Well, it's the same thing in the locker room. You got 53 guys. You probably have 20 or 30 that are close with each other. The other 20 or 30, they're close with each other. And within the groups, they mix a little bit. But there's a few guys that wouldn't piss on each other if they were on fire. That's just the way it is. It's like life. It's just like anything else.
You hate. And I've said it before. When I was in locker rooms, there was people I disliked. And I know it's shocking, but there was people that didn't like me.
Right.
I know.
But you come together on game day, and the common goal is winning.
On Saturday, even if you hated that guy, if someone went up against your teammate, someone knocked your teammate illegally in the dirt, someone did anything, you would still go and defend that teammate. It didn't matter, because you were now on Saturday, because it was college. It's Saturday. It was a purpose, and the purpose was to get the W.
Right. I'll go back to hating you on Sunday, but on Saturday, you're my brother.
I'll go back to hating you at halftime, and then be buddies during the game, and then I'll go back to. There are players that I could not stand. I could not even sit next to on the sidelines, but you still would do it. I would never sit next to them in class, but I could not stand these people, but they were on my team. They were wearing the same color. We had a sole purpose, which was to win games. So again, when you violate the sanctity of the locker room, and Mark Hernandez said it back, exactly, you should know better. You don't go outside the. But Jaxson Dart went to an event. You could agree with it, or you could agree with him or disagree with him politically. He went to an event. He didn't tell the president, come to the locker room. No. Come to practice. Come to this team-sanctioned event. No, he went to a political event.
And he didn't bring his stuff to work. And that's the point.
That's
the
the point.
locker room is their work. Don't bring your shit to work. Whatever you want to do within reason, you do. But
that's the point. He did not bring he did not, and maybe he does in the locker room. I doubt it, but he did not bring a political affiliation into the locker room. Jaxson Dart, Abdul Carter literally tweeted something that he should have said to Jaxson Dart in person. And this is why I have so much issue with it. I've already think Abdul Carter is a child. And I don't think he's going to be a good player. I think he's going to be a bust. I've said that a million times before. I still don't know if Jaxson Dart's our quarterback. And I'm not going to like Jaxson Dart more or less because of his political affiliation. I'm not going to sit there and say he likes Trump, so I don't like Dart. I'm not going to say that because it doesn't matter to me because I don't know the man. But I still don't think still don't know if he's going to be our quarterback yet. I still think he threw Malik Neighbors into a hospital ball. I still think he got Cam Scadaboo hurt. I still think that he does stuff on the field that is more selfish in regards to him and then the team. It's like even at the town hall, he's like, well, everyone's trying to tell him, they said, one thing you can change? And everyone's yelling, slide. And he goes, well, yeah, I could probably do that better. But then he goes on to pontificate the fact that, well, if it's to get a first down or if it's to get a touchdown, yeah, I'm probably not going to slide. And I keep saying that getting an extra first down in the first quarter in October does not help the team in January. So I still have problems with Jaxson Dart, but none of my problems is the fact that he's politically active, and I still have problems with Abdul Carter, but I have problems with Abdul Carter for football reasons. You never leave the locker room, ever.
Well said. And I'll tell you something. For everybody listening and watching, and everybody here most everybody here is a Giant fan. And I want to tell you something right now from having been in the locker room and having covered these guys. Like them and admire them for what they do on the football field. But if you're looking for heroes, look someplace else, man, because there are a lot better people. There are a lot better places to find heroes than inside an NFL locker room. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm not saying they're all knuckleheads, but there's an element of how professional football players and professional athletes in general are wired that doesn't always make them great members of society. They're not used to failure. They're not used to being told no. They have a great ability to think the rules don't apply to them, and it manifests itself in their everyday life to at least some degree. And you've been there. You've been in these locker rooms. And I defy anybody to go into an NFL locker room the day after one of their fellow teammates gets in major trouble, DWI, some type of arrest. In a normal workplace, everybody be buzzing. Oh, I better, I got to check myself. Not these guys. Their attitude is, it won't happen to me. And they go back about their business. They're just wired differently. And you have to start to understand that.
That's a great point. I don't want to interrupt, but that is such a great point that there are instances in the NFL where players get in serious trouble. Not just rape allegations, but convictions, murder convictions, DUIs, all these things. And everyone, and I love this because I think back to Tampa, I think back to college, and then everyone outside the locker room goes, well, that's just so out of character for him. I can't believe that. I can't believe he did that. And the guys in the locker room are like, no, I see it. I know it. And it's like, if you're looking for someone to look up to, football players especially. Well, maybe not now. Back in the old days, they're probably not the guys you wanted to look up to, especially in the 80s and the 90s. But because of the fact that they're flawed humans just like everyone else. But we're talking about a guy that just went to a rich white kid from Utah who's Christian, who is went to Ole Miss. And you sit there and think to yourself, well, he's a Kamala voter.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then you're shocked. But I want to get to the because you're the perfect person to talk about, such as myself, because the fact that you've been in locker rooms in the 90s.
Been around these guys.
In the early,
I know what they're like.
The 90s and the early 2000s are a different culture.
Right.
Because of the fact that just life was different because you didn't have social media, you didn't have this. So basically, when you went outside the locker room, you had to go out vis-a-vis a media person. You had to go to a Joe Spano and go, I got to go out of the locker room here. I'm going to go talk to Joe. But you now have this collection of, I don't even know. I can't even call them media. I don't know what the fuck you want to call them. Content creators. And that are sitting there and raging against Jaxson Dart and saying, I'm no longer a Dart fan because I don't agree with him politically. And I've said this before, Joe, this is a commentary show. I comment because I take from the outside perspective and I look in. I don't bash Bad Dog because Bad Dog is a fan show. And he'll tell you he's a fan show. But you have all these people that are sitting there saying, I'm not a Dart fan because he did this. It's not because they're not a Dart fan because of his play on the field. It's not because of he's dating the hot Instagram model. It's because he doesn't agree with you politically. You're bringing your own opinions into your work, content creators, if you call it that. And you are saying, and you're basically saying, I'm not going to like the guy because I just don't agree with him now politically. He's no longer my favorite player. Now I hate him. What the fuck is that, Joe? I'm going to drop James Williams in because right there as well, because I got to bring my brother in as well. Let's go next.
It's horseshit, Tim, is what it is. This is what happens. The first three letters of fan is the first three letters in fanatic. They're all fucking nuts. So you give these jerk off, and I'm going to say it straight up. You give these jerk off fans a forum, and then they say, I don't like Jaxson Dart anymore because he's a Trump supporter and I'm a Kamala supporter. Well, okay. Well, I guarantee you, if you're around in the 80s and you knew about Lawrence Taylor, what we knew about Lawrence Taylor, you wouldn't be a Lawrence Taylor fan either. He was great on Sundays. He was a nightmare Monday through Saturday, believe me. And he was a nightmare at North Carolina. If you know anything about his time there, he was LT was a great player, but he was certifiably insane.
You mean like the stories that he tells how he used to have plastic bags covering his windows because he was so strung out on coke and everything else during the week?
He was paranoid. I'm no angel, and I never liked coke, but I did like the way it smelled. And I'm going to tell you something, man. I was with many a young lady that was closing all the blunt. They're watching her. Ruined many a potentially good night. Because I thought one thing was going to happen. Instead, we're all staring out the window.
James, are you drinking wine already?
What's that?
Yeah, I have to today.
I see James drinking some wine, but it's 11:30.
Better late than never.
James, you know I was going to bring you on because I have to talk about this.
Unfortunately,
we've talked about the fact, and I brought this up before, that the NFL is an organization that always says we're not political. We don't do anything political, but then they got the things on the end zone. They got the things on the back of the helmets. They have all these messages. We're not political, but we're going to basically blackball Colin Kaepernick because of his political beliefs. We're not political, but we're basically going to shove aside Tim Tebow because we don't like him praying on the field. But we're not political whatsoever. So Dart goes to a rally for the president. And I've said it before, it doesn't affect my opinion of him because of the fact that the white kid from Utah, whose family's rich, who went to Ole Miss, I'm not shocked that he is a conservative. But this outrage that has been bestowed upon this vis-a-vis virtual media, social media and content creators, just give me your perspective on the James Williams perspective of why did we even get here because of this? And why do people who all of a sudden we're just kneeling at the altar of Jaxson Dart 36 hours ago are no longer Giant fans or Jaxson Dart fans?
I'm going to bust some people's bubbles real quick. I'm going to talk for like 90 seconds.
Go for it. You have the mic.
Newsflash. Everybody out here has opinions. They're not always going to coincide with each other. And a big newsflash, I'm just going to drop this bomb. Regardless of how you feel about Dart being at the Trump rally or not, guess what? The team that we all root for, including me, they're a little bit racist. And I've talked about this topic as far as we've never drafted a black quarterback. We've never had a black. No. I ain't gonna front, Tim. I'm not in the mood for that shit today. I'll just hop off this thing. I really don't care. I'm more educated than half the people who fucking watch football.
But you can't say we never drafted a black quarterback. He may not have played.
We never drafted a black quarterback in the hopes of making him the franchise or putting him in the forefront.
There you go.
And we've never signed a black quarterback in the hopes of making him the franchise or putting him in the forefront. Because when your quarterback and your coach are the forefront of your team, they are the ones that people most associate with your team. So I don't know how mad I'm supposed to be as a 43-year-old, highly educated black man that Dart at a rally introduced Trump when for the last 4 years, I've been talking about a topic that most giant podcasters won't touch with a 10-foot pole. And I've made videos on myself. So honestly, this is a nothing burger. It honestly is. It really is. And I'm not going to really waste my Sunday talking about this too much. I only came on to talk to my brothers up here, my brother Tim. And the last thing I'll say is, I'll just say this. You got to be a little careful with the piling on of Abdul Carter, because he's an idiot and we should keep things in the locker room, yes. But once Dart went out and introduced Trump, I'm pretty sure Dart is not an idiot. I'm pretty sure he knew there would be people having opinions. I'm pretty sure he knew people on his own team would have opinions, and he'll have to deal with that the same way the other people on the team will have to deal with that. And like Brother Spano said, they'll have to deal with that in-house. And last thing, we do live in an age of social media where people spill out their thoughts all the time. So in fairness to the idiot who thinks he's Lawrence Taylor, he's only doing what everybody, including Trump, who tweets all the time.
But I got to stop you right there. I'm going to stop you right there. Trump is different. Trump is the president. Abdul Carter is a so-called.
I'm just talking about having an opinion.
No, I'm talking about the fact that you don't. Jaxson Dart introducing someone at a rally has no effect on the New York Giants. Jaxson Dart doing what he wants to do politically, just like I said, if Jaxson Dart would have went to a Kamala Harris rally or an AOC rally, it wouldn't matter. It has no different. It doesn't matter if another player came out and said, I thought this shit was AI generated. What are you doing, bro? It wouldn't matter what that other player was. It doesn't matter who the player is. You never take shit out of the locker room, ever. And you're never going to convince me any different than that. And I don't care if it's the age of social media, it's the age of anything else. If you are a man, if you are someone that is going to have a professional career and be part of a professional organization, as someone that's been part of multiple professional organizations, you talk to that person in person. If you then want to go out and pontificate your point of view on social media, you can even say, I talked to Jaxson about this. I've done this. You don't just go out there and throw out a comment, which is very inflammatory, which ignites the fan base, ignites some former players as well, like Lawrence Taylor and some other people's, and say the same thing. You never bash a teammate in the press. You never bash a teammate in social media. You never do that because of the fact that you are a 53-man roster in a single room for 8 months. And at the end of the day, and I've said it before, there's plenty of people that hated me, plenty of people I hated, but you have to work together. And if I can't trust you, and if I can't trust you in the locker room, you have no purpose for me then. Because of the fact that I can't be myself and do my job because I'm worried that you are going to say something stupid on social media. You are a first-year player who had a pedestrian season, you basically got redrafted this year with Arvell Reese because I keep hearing Reese is the player we thought Carter was going to be. You can't go outside the locker room ever, and no one will ever convince me of that because you just don't. As someone who has played at a high level, you never do it. Someone that's been in college and pro locker room, same with Joe, you never go outside the locker room ever. And there is a history of players that have gone outside the locker room who were gone months later because you violated the sanctity of something that's special, especially in sports in the NFL, and that's the camaraderie, and that is the ability to be yourself in the locker room. I guarantee everyone in that locker room knows that Jaxson Dart isn't conservative. Abdul Carter, well, like I said, when he came in on the draft, he's got his chain on, he's got the Muslim thing on, no one said anything. I didn't care because that's his belief and that's his religion. But you could say, why is he doing that on national TV? Why is he bringing that attention to himself on national television? But because you should not bring religion into sports.
But Tim, isn't there a cry to bring back a certain former player who did exactly what you just said? Went out in public media and spoke against the team and players on the team and the organization?
When he did that, what happened to him?
No, I agree.
But
this has happened before, is what I'm saying.
After he did that, because some certain people might not know, after he did that, what happened to OBJ?
He got traded.
There you go.
But the point is, people here want to bring that guy back.
Not these people.
Because people.
No. I'm just no.
People are more.
Listen. Stop. I love you. But stop. There are people in this fan base who want to bring that guy back. We were just at a town hall where a guy sitting next to me was screaming, "OBJ!
Short
So,
memory. Short
all I'm saying is,
What was he saying?
OBJ! He was.
I believe it.
So all I'm saying is, we've seen this before.
But you're missing the point, James. What happened to OBJ after he violated the sanctity?
No, yes, I know. But my point is, why do people want that guy back?
I'm not done yet. Dexter Lawrence has become a malcontent and an issue for the New York Giants. Dexter Lawrence is one of these guys that has come out and said things publicly against the general manager and the organization. What happened to Dexter Lawrence?
Yeah, he got traded.
Okay.
But nobody's crying to bring Dexter Lawrence back, Tim.
But
For a fact people are crying to bring Odell Beckham back.
You're missing the point, James.
Dexter Lawrence got traded because he wanted to be traded. That's why he said what he said. So
he knew if he said what he's going to say, he's going to get thrown out.
Yeah, he wanted to get
traded.
Who wants to sit and play for a loser for like 6 years? Like, who wants that? You know what I'm saying?
Also, guys, remember one thing about all of this. All of these misdeeds, or however you want to classify them, they all work on a sliding. They all work on a sliding scale. You get away with a lot more if you're a superstar than if you're a guy 53 on the roster. Never forget that. And there is always a point, and the point moves where your difficulty intersects with your ability. Once that happens, then you're probably gone. Until that point, you stick around. And we'll go back to the 80s and look at Lawrence Taylor. Lawrence Taylor, during those 80s great Giants teams, was like the only guy that could get away with holding out without being punished. Remember when Gary Reasons held out? Very soon he was on the Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
Lawrence Taylor didn't get traded because he's Lawrence Taylor, and no knock on Gary Reasons. We love him, but he's Gary Reasons.
Lawrence Taylor got fined his second holdout every day he held out. Did the Joe, you know this, did the Giants uphold those fines?
No.
Lawrence
Taylor. He blew it all on coke.
Okay, well, hold on then. Hold on. My last point.
Go ahead.
Oh, my fault. Let me just say this real quick, brother. Spano, what pick was Jaxson Dart? Late 20s?
26, I think.
What pick was Abdul Carter?
3.
Okay,
but let me ask you this, and I'll counter that. Who's the more impactful player right now? And by all accounts, who's the more important player for this franchise? And you can't tell me it's Abdul Carter.
Well, impactful and important is different, because you can't tell me Jaxson Dart is that impactful. We didn't win no games.
All right, well, then we'll go important. Who's more important?
Jaxson Dart is important, but again, we took Abdul Carter in the top 5.
The position he plays. Jackson, that's kind of like an unfair question of who's important, because it's always going to be the quarterback, even if the quarterback's not the best.
Absolutely.
Yeah, even like it's always the quarterback. So it's kind of messed up. Can I address this? Jurors 732.
Sure.
Facts Tim Tebow did not get kicked out because he talked about Jesus. He sucked at the quarterback position. That's why it had nothing to do with his. Tim Tebow's a great human being. He's just not a great NFL quarterback. College, he's a shit. But that's not even close.
Jesus is all over every NFL locker room.
But
Yeah.
to bring up the point, guys, we talked about Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick, his last 3 years, he played like shit. But he didn't get thrown out of the league because of the fact that he didn't play well. He got thrown out of the league for his political beliefs. Tim Tebow, while he is not a starting quarterback, you cannot tell me during the time period that he played, he wasn't a guy that could be the third quarterback on a roster. Denver, he played. He played one season in. Didn't play the season. He had one camp in New England, and he played extremely well in preseason because I was at the Eagle game. I sat on the sidelines when he played the last preseason game against the Eagles, and he played like a guy that could be your 2 or 3. But when he got cut, Bill Belichick didn't talk about his play on the field. Bill Belichick didn't talk about, everything that he did well all during camp. Bill Belichick talked about how that it was an unnecessary and unneeded distraction. That
unneeded distraction for a number 3 quarterback.
That's what I was about to say, that you did not need to have because a guy is your second or your third string quarterback. It was an unnecessary distraction on a team who your second or third string quarterback would be bigger than your guy starting or your starting wide receiver or your starting tight end. That is not allowing someone to be in the league. And I'm not saying Tim Tebow was ever going to be a star in the league, but there are the Jets. Tim Tebow was a distraction. They even said it. Him being on the team, his aura, his personality was a distraction, even as the 50th man on the roster. So they didn't want that. Colin Kaepernick was the same way. Colin Kaepernick is a distraction because of his political beliefs. Colin Kaepernick played like a second teamer for 3 years before he got kicked out of the league. But if you even have the ability to be a second or third team player in the NFL, even at quarterback, you should be in the league. What you say and what you do off the field, what you do politically, what you do in any mindset should not deter you from getting a job in the NFL, because that's your opinion. What you do off the field is your opinion. What you bring into the locker room is something that's totally different. So this is the problem with the NFL. Colin Kaepernick was a distraction to the league. They didn't like what he was saying, but they allowed everyone to kneel on the sidelines. They allowed to do everything that Colin Kaepernick was doing, and they did not sit there and punish people for doing that, but they punished Colin Kaepernick for starting it. And it's the same with Tim Tebow. You see people praying all over the sidelines now. Tim Tebow you are punishing him because of the fact that he is bigger as a distraction as the 50th man roster on the 50th man rosters than your starting 22 was. Same with Colin Kaepernick.
What's the old expression? Fair is not always equal. Equal is not always fair. There's one set of rules for stars. There's another set of rules for role players.
Yeah, the other
right. And my thing with Tim Tebow is he was never in the NFL. He has so many plays where Denver won games, but his entire stat line was trash. His entire stat line was trash. Now, he might have made a play here or there, like one of the crazy plays he made in was that against Pittsburgh, the playoffs when he threw that pass?
Yes.
That was like one of the luckiest, but again, a dope play. But it's like they didn't win because of Tim Tebow, but that one play was the winner.
How many yards did Tim Tebow throw in that game?
I couldn't tell you.
Like 150?
No, like 330.
It was 330?
But Tim Tebow has never.
How many touchdowns did Tim Tebow actually account for in that game? All of them.
I don't know. I don't remember. I remember that one play.
And I do, because you know me. I don't. As my wife would say, there's so much.
But if you give me the stat, he could have threw for 500 yards that game and 7 touchdowns. Tim Tebow is not an NFL quarterback. Now, if you want to say,
wait a minute. Some of the guys. Wait. Some of the guys that have quarterbacked the Giants over the last couple of years, are they NFL quarterbacks?
Daniel Jones? Hell no. No, I already know where you're going. I already know where you're going.
No, it's a yes or no answer. Some of those
I
guys-
already told you that.
Listen, I'm not saying Tim Tebow is a star in the league. I'm saying
not
Tim
saying he's a
Tebow.
star.
I'm saying Tim Tebow could have been a second or a third string quarterback in this league.
I think he could have been a third.
But he got shut down by two teams by having good preseasons, under the fact that he is more of a distraction to the organization than he was going to be a help as a second or third string guy. And this is the whole. That's the same. That's the same thing likes to Colin Kaepernick.
To a degree.
I never
distraction.
believed that Tim Tebow was a distraction. I don't know what people think. And again, I'm not society. I'm only speaking for myself. I'm not society. Like,
I'll give you this one. We saw it here. Different type of distraction. Tommy Cutlets is not the third string quarterback here with the Giants because the circus around him for a third string quarterback just didn't work. They shipped that. They said, we've got to let this guy go. We think I'm sure they thought maybe he could be a third string, decent second string quarterback, but the three-ring circus around him for different reasons probably wasn't worth the trouble. So they cut him.
But that we can't throw in Tommy DeVito. Nobody outside of New York gave a damn about Tommy DeVito.
That's why he's not in New York.
He's talking about the distraction
in New York.
But the distraction factor compared to Tebow to DeVito, what are we talking about? That's not even comparable, bro. Like we're talking about Colin Kaepernick. Let me just say, Colin Kaepernick took a team to the Super Bowl. There's no comparison to him to Tebow. He took a team to the Super Bowl and would have won the ring if it wasn't for a damn blackout. So Colin Kaepernick was playing at a all-pro level at one point.
Sure.
In this fan base, Tommy DeVito was a
Which song is that?
why he ain't here. I ain't comparing it on a national level to Tebow.
I was good. Nobody outside of New York, New Jersey cared about Tommy DeVito. Nobody.
What's the name of this?
He's like the Max B of quarterbacks.
What's the name of this show again? New York Giants.
You got that right.
New York Giants straight talk. So outside of New York don't matter. This is about New York. Hence
Time out. I'd like to send a public service announcement since we're talking about distractions. New York Giants straight talk is for all people. Don't mean it's just for straight people. It just means the talk is straightforward. So before we get canceled, before this whole thing gets canceled, everyone is welcome to come talk your shit here. But being more, I got on late, so I just want to say this. I think this is a big mound of bullshit. Like, when you look at Jaxson Dart is a privileged person playing a privileged position. He's from
Utah.
No, I'm saying he is exactly who Trump would support. And for him to go out there, and everyone knows I can't stand Trump. For Jaxson Dart to go out there and open it up for him and say, hey, welcome to president, he's supporting someone he believes supports his ideas. So in the spirit of America, I think you have a dumb person you're supporting, but as long as you come in and throw touchdowns, I don't give a fuck. Support who the fuck you want. Because if Abdul Carter would have went out and opened up for Minister Farrakhan, I believe the pressures the opposite way would be a whole lot worse. A whole lot worse. Now, again,
wait a minute. What if he came out, Abdul Carter, for AOC?
Okay, to keep it political, if he came out for I've actually met AOC. She's pretty cool. But if dumb
as a post, but you can't say
I'm not gonna dive in there. We'll go
back to the comments out of Germany.
Yeah, I'll go back. You talking about the guy who wanted to cure COVID with a laser?
No, I'm talking about the woman that couldn't speak about geopolitics in reference to Israel and other places, but that's okay.
So if we're talking about him supporting, I'm not who he supports. I use Minister Farrakhan because I know there's going to be some heat. But if you want to bring AOC in, because
don't take it to a religious to compare apples to apples.
Well, if you did that, he would still get some flack. he would still get flat because it's hard to put a political person on the same level of the president.
Would segment Giant fans all of a sudden say they're no longer Dart supporters or Giant supporters because he introduced AOC at a rally?
Oh, you're saying if Dart did that?
No, if Abdul Carter did.
Of course there are. But again, he's not the quarterback of your team because, like me and the brother were talking about earlier, it's very hard to put another player. Like if this was Lawrence Taylor or Strahan talking, it might have went a little different. Abdul Carter, you're not even worth the pick at right now, as far as your career. You should probably not be tweeting, and you should probably, and I agree 100%, you should happen in-house. It should happen in-house. It should be like, hey, what the fuck was that about? Now, on the opposite side, I think Jaxson Dart needs to step out of the spotlight a little bit more in this reason because
I'm telling you, we're so one-sided here.
He hasn't done shit either. Jaxson Dart, one thing he has Giants fans hopeful because he's played good. In his spots, he's shown toughness. He's shown a nice zip on the ball and under 20 yards thrown. But as an owner, I would probably want you staying out of these hot button issues. Like even if it was Israel Palestine.
Who do you think the owner supports? Just out of curiosity.
Oh, the owner supports Trump.
Who do you think the head coach
Giants is a racist organization.
It has nothing to do with racism, but who do you think that? So John Harbaugh's a racist.
He could be. I don't know. I don't know him personally.
But I don't know John Mara personally, so I can't say that he's a racist. I could say the Giants have tendencies where they still have more towards the Jim Crow era on certain things.
Are we talking about racism or white supremacy? Because there is a difference.
Well, I don't think the Giants are white supremacists.
Exactly. So racism, like all things, has a level. So you can't say, like when you say, I don't think everybody who supports Trump is a racist, but I think all racist against black.
You know what the thing is this, and I've said it before, I think all people are inherently racist.
If you're in America,
I don't think there's anyone out there.
No, I think you're prejudiced. There's a difference between straight racists and we all have prejudices.
I do think
we're all not racist.
I do think there is all people have a level of racism, unless you're Mother Teresa. And yes, and prejudice is steeped in what? Racism. And those prejudice are led to racism. So I think everyone's inherently, I've always said before, I think everyone's inherently racist or inherently prejudiced because everyone has their own thoughts and opinions. But the thing is this, I don't have to agree with your opinion. You don't have to agree with my opinion. No one has to agree with anyone's opinion, but everyone's allowed to have that opinion. But in my mind, there is a difference between what Jaxson Dart did by expressing his opinion outside of the organization than what Abdul Carter did by expressing his opinion in the media.
On his opinion. Yeah, he expressed his opinion on Dart's opinion. And I think that was bad. Like Jaxson Dart going and doing what he did just let me know that he's cosplaying with black culture. Like he's definitely cosplaying black culture. And that's fine. He's not the first person to do it. He's not the last person to do it. He's supporting someone that he believes in. And that's cool. I don't have a problem with it. Just come and throw touchdowns. I'm not ready to get rid of my Giants. I don't own any Jaxson Dart stuff.
Neither do I.
But
I'm not going to go get any either.
Right. I'm not saying, oh, we need to trade him. Like what he did, let's be honest. Jaxson Dart opened up for a president that a lot of people don't like and a lot of people do like. So depending on what side of the person, because you're not really judging Jaxson Dart technically, you're judging the person he opened. Right? Because if he opened up for Jimmy Kimmel, no one's talking about anything. Hey, I'm on the Jimmy Kimmel show, It is what it is. So to be honest, the real enemy is the people who really, really like Trump or really, really despise Trump. Because I don't have a real problem with what he does. I just don't agree with his political connection. But at the same time, if you flip it up around and Abdul Carter went and go see AOC, and let's say Jaxson Dart said something about that, I would agree. Both people, whoever's making a comment on what someone else supports, just talk to them straight. You got their phone number. Just text them.
It's the same. Like I said, if he went out and opened for AOC, Abdul Carter, and Jaxson Dart said something about that outside locker room, I would have just as much anger and reaction that I did with Abdul Carter, because as a former player, as someone that worked in the league, as someone that worked in the AFL, that's someone that knows NFL locker rooms. And like we were talking about before, OBJ made his comments. OBJ got traded. Dexter Lawrence knew, I say X, they're going to get rid of me, because you don't say these things. You don't do these things because it's just not part of what happens in the locker room. Because that locker, if you lose the security of the locker room, you've lost everything. I've talked about the 86 Mets earlier. The 86 Mets, there was a divide in the locker room between the Keith Hernandez guys, who were the drinkers, who were the carousers, who were having sex in the locker room, and the Gary Carter guys. Lee Mazzilli and Chapman and all these other guys, because of the fact that they had difference of opinions. But you never heard any of these stories in that locker room until years later, until the late 2000s. Then you started hearing the stories that some of the Mets were doing in the locker room, because they know you may disagree with you fucking a woman over in the right field bleachers during a game, like we've heard those stories, but I'm not going to go out and tell the press about it. I'm not going to go out there because I'm not going to violate the sanctity of that locker room, because either way, I got to be in this room with these guys for 6 months.
And it's pointless. Like, here's the thing. If I really believe that Trump's an idiot, you really believe that Trump is great, how long do we talk and have conversation about it? Because there's no point.
Right.
There is no point. If I think spinach is delicious, you think spinach sucks, how long do we argue about it? How much energy do we put in this gas tank to have a conversation?
Is it like cream spinach?
I'm more of a regular spinach person than a cream spinach person myself.
Or is it like the spinach from the rotisserie chicken place that they used to have that's no longer there?
What are you talking about? Boston Market?
Boston Market. They used to have a nice cream spinach. So which
yeah, it was good.
Because I could
apologize. I've never
about that
Boston Market.
Boston Market's pretty good.
I'm a Lakers fan. I'm not eating anything that says Boston.
Probably the best spinach there is. Now I'm going to go out of the sanctity of the blocks here, and I'm going to talk about the fucking spinach.
I think one of the points that's been glossed over, and it was one of the first points you said, we'd prefer you keep your religious and political leanings out of your social media, because those are the two most divisive things in America these days. And I'm going to tell you something. As a longtime media member, when I worked for major broadcasting companies, one of the things they told you, hey, man, keep your politics, keep your religion out of your social media. And if you look at how many people have been fired from major broadcast entities for their religious and political social media posts, Sam Ponder, the list goes on and on.
And that's sad. That's sad.
That's what the organization would prefer. It doesn't work out like that all the time, but that's what the organization would prefer. Keep it to yourself. Keep it out of your social media, because if the press and the fans start getting wind of this, you have the crap storm that we're having today. If you keep it to yourself and you keep it out of your social media, we don't have to hear about it.
Oh,
but what? Hold on. But am I? Hold on. Am I blind? Once he introduced Trump at the rally, isn't that him stepping into a political forum?
James,
that's what he's saying, though.
James.
That's what he's saying.
Oh, okay. I was just checking.
Saying it louder doesn't make it right.
James just wants to be on fire today.
James, you come. Hey, James. So hold on one second, everybody. James, what I need you to do is go get the grinder. Put a little flour.
Oh, I already got it ready.
Right? No. It's not. It's beyond time for it to be ready. It's time to indulge, my brother, so you can. Nice and calm.
No, but I'm just, again, I don't care. I'm just not going to do this thing where we're going to pile on Carter for having an opinion when Dart clearly had an opinion. So that's not. I don't see what the difference is.
No, what they're saying is Dart's opinion was out there. Dart took opinion that wasn't football and it wasn't against another player in the locker room. Abdul Carter's comment was about what Dart did. So
And
that's and you play football we've all played some sort of sport. When somebody does a little something dirty and you want to get them back, you're always the one called for the foul. You know what I mean? And it might not be apples to apples, oranges to oranges, but what they're saying is, yeah, Carter, if you didn't like what he said, pull him to the side, talk to him. Don't make this bigger, because now look at what we're talking about. Usually we're talking about good movies and talking shit about food. Right now, you guys have been talking about
didn't we talk
about a guy who did something that wasn't illegal. It didn't hurt anybody physically. It wasn't immoral. He just took a stance with a political pundit that you may not like. Okay, and that, again, the bad part to that is, Jaxson Dart, you're not established. You're not an Aaron Rodgers. You're not, Aaron Rodgers is more than established, but you're not an established person to take, again, such a strong stance with the religion and the politics, because those are the two. Right now, I believe politics are people's religion. Politics are bigger than religion at some point. That's how big it is. You see the president dressed up like, a first aid worker or Jesus, it gets a little funny for you. But I think the biggest issue that they had, and I agree with them here, that Carter should have shut the fuck up. If just because you say something wrong, and I've been at negotiating tables and someone says something wrong and I can't say anything to correct them, but I don't say that they said anything wrong. I'll wait till we have a caucus to say, yo, bro, you kind of fucked up. You shouldn't have said that about this, and that, because we have to keep it in house. Our team is fragile enough as it is. If we start off 1-3, people are gonna, because we all had so much hope for this team to be 500. You know what I'm saying? We all had so much hope for this team to finally be at 500. Look how low our floor is as a fan. We're praying for 500.
I'm just shocked, T-Brad, that so many people are surprised that this motherfucker is a Trump or a fan of Trump. That's my thing. And I said this to Tim last night on the text. I don't care, but at the same time, I'm so surprised that people are surprised.
Is this a bigger issue or a small? Is this issue enhanced because of what Abdul Carter said? Because I think this story goes away within a short media cycle unless someone stokes the fire. And Abdul Carter, he was the one that stoked the fire.
Hey, allow me to play devil's advocate.
I think we all would have. I think the organization would have preferred had Dart not done this at all and had taken his old lady out to dinner on Friday night.
Wait a minute, Joe. I'm going to talk to you just a second about this, Joe, because you would know this as well. Do you not think that Dart went to the Giants' PR department, our media department, and said that I'm going to do this event?
I'm sure he probably did, and they probably.
I'm guaranteeing you this was sanctioned and given
the they weren't thrilled about it. And they probably would have preferred, hey, you stay home, but they can't make you stay home.
Yeah,
right.
That's the thing. But I'm just saying you got to have culpability, but you also can't just say that. I'm guaranteeing he did not go out of the realm of the Giants.
No.
Do this.
What's good for the organization? Absolutely not. And I'll say it like this. Let's play devil's advocate here. Let's say Trump is not the president. Let's just say he's not the president. Let's say the president is actually Obama for a third term. And Dart did the same exact thing.
I don't think this is an issue.
Is there that big of an issue? Like, I believe fans who hate Obama would have, oh my God, they would have felt like they got stabbed in the back. Like, how can he go in there and support this, whatever colorful language you have for that? I think that would have been one way where you had fans saying shit, but you might not have had anybody from the locker room say shit. And I'm just saying, if Dart just went and said, hey, I'm here to open it up, go Big Blue, all right, bring it up for our president of the United States.
That's what he did.
That's what he did.
No, that's what he did. No, I'm saying that's what he did. So what I'm saying is, it's not Dart that's the problem. It's the hatred for Trump that is the problem.
Right.
That's what's kicking it in. And again, this is somebody who can't stand Trump. I'm not speaking up for Trump. I'm not speaking up for Dart. I just believe as Americans, everyone has a right to believe and back whoever they want, no matter how stupid or smart they are. You have every right to back who they want. But the the thing that made this, and I'll say it like this, if Carter didn't say anything, it would only be fans talking.
Right.
It would only be fans' opinions of, was that right? Was that wrong? And I Bleav what you said, Tiff. He probably talked to, a general manager or somebody in charge and said, hey, man, I'm going to be opening up for the president. You can't be the quarterback for the New York Giants and do public appearances at a place like this and the management does not know.
Oh, I know.
You can't.
I know for
Yeah,
experience. Joe knows from experience. You are not going to do this without the organization knowing what
And the
you're doing.
organization's like, all right, go ahead. And they're like, oh, great.
This was cleared by the Giant media department, which went up to Giant management, which more than likely went up to Harbaugh.
And nobody, and understand, nobody's thrilled about it because, as I said, I'll go on record say this: they would have much preferred he take that lovely girl out for a steak dinner and then go home and watch TV. But you can't force your players to do that. They are human beings with rights just like the rest of us. If this is what he wants to do, he's going to do it. You ain't thrilled with it. He cleared it with you. Now you hope everybody in your locker room keeps their mouth shut. They didn't, and here we are.
I'm gonna go to this one comment in a second, but I love this comment. He talked to Joe Shane. Let's just fucking blame Joe Shane.
Let's call
today and blame Joe Shane. But listen, to the point I was making that T-Brad made as well. I mean, it's the fact that this is probably less of a story if in the actual media if Abdul Carter doesn't say anything. Nope. It's just a fan-based issue, and it's not a media issue until a player comes out and violates the sanctity of the. And I've said it before. I don't care if the situation reversed and Jaxson Dart did the same thing that Abdul Carter did. I would be just as fucking pissed. I would be more pissed at Jaxson Dart than I would be at Abdul Carter then, because of the fact that as a former player coming to work the league, you don't do it. And that's what a lot of people just don't get. You never leave the locker room because you are stuck with those other 52 guys.
It's us 53 against the world.
Against everyone else. You are supposed to be unified enough in the locker room where you don't break ranks and talk outside, because what does that immediately do? To T-Brad's points, it brings now in the media. It now takes a story which is a fan story and makes it a media story.
Fan stories go away. Media stories.
Time out 1 second. I Bleav if we're talking about the destruction of the locker room and the destruction of the team, I Bleav Joe Shane getting an extension is more detrimental to the Giants.
We're talking about that on Tuesday.
Exactly. And I Bleav that is worse to the Giants than whoever Jaxson Dart opened up for.
We are talking about that. I got the okay yesterday, and he sent me literally 7 paragraphs, my friend, who told us that Joe Shane was going to get an extension after the draft. He gave me a 7-paragraph diatribe of what happened and how the Joe Shane extension came about. And I Bleav this guy because everything that he has told us, I would say 98% of the time, he has been 100% accurate. So we are going to, I am allowed to read the entire text message that he sent me in reference to how Joe Shane's extension came about.
That sounds like a can't miss show, Tim.
That is a can't miss show.
I have my opinion on this. We talked about it. And I have a feeling what you're going to come out with in these 7 paragraphs is going to change my perspective, just from the standpoint of I'm of the belief that if Harbs is on board with this, I'm good with it. From the impression I'm getting, you haven't said anything yet, Harbs ain't all that happy about this, and then I have a problem with it.
I can't talk about that because I got to build up an audience for fucking Tuesday, man. That's part of the game.
I'm setting it up for you.
That's it. T-Brad, what did you not set up for me today?
Well, I don't know who I'm betting for. I don't know where I'm going to bet for the games tonight.
Oh, yeah, you don't know where to go?
No, where did I go?
Tell us.
Well, you have to go to the mighty FanDuel. It's FanDuel.com, the #1 sports book in America. If you want to bet on the NBA playoffs, right now, the best time to join the action, get $150 back in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. So you take a $5 bet. This is for new customers only. You win on that $5 bet. You get $150 back in bonus and bets. Let's see where the Knicks have fallen now or have gone up in regards to their chances and reference to the mighty FanDuel winning it all in the NBA playoffs right now. So we're gonna go to the sports book right now. We're gonna take a look. I live in Pennsylvania, so why is it doing? I don't want to log into my sports book. Right now, the Knicks. What did we think the Knicks were last in regards to making the playoffs, winning the? Oh, now the Knicks are plus 300. They are now just below the Oklahoma City Thunder, which is negative 170. You got the Spurs at plus 470, and you got the Cavaliers. You may want to take this bet if you're a Cleveland Cavalier guys, winning the NBA playoffs at plus 20,000. I mean, I think $100 bet on a plus 20,000. One of the things that I do find interesting is SGA is minus 155 for being the NBA Finals MVP. And
has anybody watched him play these playoffs?
Brunson is only plus 380. And he's second behind SGA. I think that's a little crazy. Brunson right now, even in games he wasn't scoring, he had 11 assists the other day. The Knicks are playing a team philosophy. The Magic Unicorns plus 3,000 for Karl Anthony Towns. I can see that. But we all love
I'm not understanding Brunson, man. Brunson is just, he throws up shots. I'm like, what that? Okay, great shot.
Yeah, no.
No, yeah. No, don't. Oh, no, yeah, I told you to do that.
I shot. That was their reaction. No.
But on the mighty FanDuel right now, also the Giants are plus 6,005 or 650,000 or whatever, plus 6,500 to make and win the Super Bowl, just below the Carolina Panthers, which are plus 6,500 as well, which are above the Steelers right now as well, which I think is interesting, almost plus 1,000 points above the Steelers. But the Steelers have their own quarterback situations. And right now, the two teams in reference to the Super Bowl are going to be, again, the mighty FanDuels has the Rams against the Seahawks, with the Ravens directly behind the Rams and the Buffalo Bills. This is, of course, the mighty FanDuel, FanDuel.com. New customers right now, you go out to the mighty FanDuel. We've said it before. The NBA times are the best times right now to get into the action. Get $150 back in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. It's for new customers only. Of course, we love it here. It's the mighty FanDuel.
So $100 gets me how much for the Giants if the Giants win the Super Bowl?
If the $100, well, you want me to tell you right now?
Yeah, $100 gets me how much for the Giants?
I'm going to go right. Hold on, I'm going to go right. I'm going to open my sports book and I'm going to take the Giants at plus, and I'm going to bet 100. I already know what the number is. It's going to be 6,500 because it's plus 6,500.
That's right. Who needs XRP?
I was gonna. So I was thinking about that. I was typing it in. I'm like, what the fuck? So there we go. There we go. So Tommy's craziness. I just drove to get a puppy yesterday, a German Shepherd, Axel. Nice. So 9 hours to get him, sweet boy. That is
dedication to the breed, brother. That is dedication to the breed.
I thought I was crazy because when we got the Bernie, I drove to Pittsburgh in a snowstorm to get him.
How far is that, Tim?
From my house, about 3.5, 4 hours.
Oh, so you're the other side of the state of Pennsylvania.
Yeah. So, but it was in the middle of a snowstorm, and that ride took about 7 hours, back and forth. But yeah, and literally where the lady was, she was in this big field area. So at that time I had my Jeep. So if we didn't have the Jeep, we would never even gotten close to the house, because it was a few years back when we got that one big snowstorm. We got like 30 inches. So the next day I'm out there driving to Pittsburgh because I'm a fucking idiot.
What kind of white wine is that you're drinking there, James?
It's a Riesling. My girl got something. I don't know the name. Maybe a Barefoot, some shit.
Sweet.
Little sweet white
sweet,
wine.
Yes.
It's a little sweet.
Would you say, Joe?
I said a little bit of a sweet white wine, typically.
Oh, yeah. She has a dry one in there, but I like the sweet wines.
Nice. The Sauvignon Blanc is excellent. A little drier, but I think you'll enjoy that. Good whites, the Sauvignon Blanc.
Yeah, that's a white man's wine.
Of course.
Yeah, like that.
I will say this.
I mean, there's nobody more white than me.
I'm not a dry wine fan, but when you get somebody who pairs the wine up with your food, please take advantage of that. If you have a sommelier there, please take advantage of that, because it might be a wine you would never drink, but they'll be like, oh, you want to have it with this? Just do it. Just do it. You won't waste your money.
There was a wine, T-Brad, the red wine. I can't remember the name of it now because she drank it, that we got when we went out with you and the wife. I can't. I can't think. What was it?
It was if you got it. If it was for me, it was either Concord or Fantasy.
Concord. No, it was Concord.
Concord. That sounds familiar to me.
Concord, sweet as hell. Yes.
It was the second time we went out. Not when James and the lovely Mrs. James was there. When we went out to dinner that night, oh my God, she drinks that with everything. She would drink.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that
Concord is delicious.
It wouldn't. It doesn't matter if it's nachos or if it's steak. You know, it's
that's where it goes.
It's where's the Concord?
They got a
Steak
spicy
night
bread
or tomorrow,
too.
Tim?
What's that, Joe?
Steak night tonight or tomorrow?
Steak
When are you
night
doing
tomorrow
those
because it's raining.
Okay.
So it's raining.
Hit the liquor store for red wine to go with that.
We don't need to hit the liquor store. Our house is a liquor store.
Okay, you got the vault downstairs.
We're gonna finish watching Monarch season 2. We started binge watching it last night, so we're gonna watch that tonight. So we're gonna
What's
have to.
that about?
It's the show with the monsters and Godzilla, and it's from off the movie.
Okay, yeah.
His son's in it as well, and they're both the same character. And it was really good the first 4 episodes, and now it just went off the fucking track.
Yeah.
So, and then James, we are watching the again with Wyatt Russell in it, the World War II zombie movie. So we're finally.
Oh, okay.
We're finally going to watch that, but I still love my son's opinion because he's like, James, like, oh, I love that movie. And my son's still like, well, James also liked Primitive Wars and watched it twice, but I kept telling him it's a good movie. So it's going to be a family movie tonight. So we're watching that.
That's a really Overlord. That's a really good movie.
That's what we're watching tonight. So it's going to be, I got the FanDuel commercial in. Oh my God.
I got caught up in 2 good Netflix shows, one The Burrows and one Nemesis. Those are like 1 and 2 on the
how is that Nemesis?
I was going to say.
Nemesis, if you will, they kind of made it up sort of like a black version of Heat. Kind of sort of, huh?
The movie, what'd you say? The Heat?
Like the movie Heat?
Movie Heat, yes. That's what I'm saying. Okay.
They kind of made it sort of similar to that with a little sly stuff, but I haven't gotten all the way through it yet. I think I'm I'm like halfway through, but I dig it. I dig it for what it's for.
Yeah, I got a lot of shows to catch up on. I love it now because now we're talking about shows and I'm watching the numbers go woo.
What?
I'm watching the numbers drop exponentially.
We could turn the heat up. We could just start talking about politics again and turn the heat up.
We're gonna talk. I gotta go get stuff to make Rice Krispie treats.
Let's talk about money.
Money?
Money. We love to talk about money.
We love talking about money. We love money. And I'm tired of people not understanding money.
On the commodities market. That right here, the stream's been worth it for me over the last 4 months.
I'll tell you what to stay away from. Stay away from Kmart stock. Any Kmart stock, stay away from it.
No Kmart stock, because there is only one. There's still one Kmart open though.
Is there?
There's one Kmart open. There's one Best Buy open, and there's 2 Radio Shacks open.
Shit, I remember being embarrassed going to Kmart. Like, oh my God, if someone sees me in here, my parents be like, they're in here too. Relax. I don't want nobody to see me at Kmart. I want nobody to see me at Favor getting Nikes. Like, Nikes were actually sold in Favor. This is obviously before Jordan was with the brand, and Nikes kind of sucked, and nobody knew what they were. Nikes were kind of like the running shoe, if anything.
Do you remember? It was not that far from Calhoun Street. There was the Acme. This was long ago back in. I always tell people, because T-Brad knows the area. I always tell people in that Acme there used to be bins of sneakers, and they were bright orange.
Tied together.
Yes, tied together. Tied together. Those were at one point in time. Those were the only shoes I wore. Because they were that's what we had. So I mean, and I love it because you were bringing about, you don't want to wear those shoes. I would have killed to have gone to Kmart. I would have been like, oh my God, that is. I don't care what it was. I mean, I'm literally wearing Meat branded sneakers from the Acme that are bright orange, and anyone that shopped at that Acme knew where I got those shoes from.
And you were begging for a pair of Zips.
I would have killed for Zips. I would have killed for a pair of pants. I would have killed for anything. I just remember wearing those shoes in schools, and people were like, "You got those at the Acme."
What are those Bobos?
What are you fucking supposed to
Bobos.
No, and here's the funny thing: when you get sneakers from Acme, guess what? You can't try them bitches on both feet. You got to try them on one foot
No,
and then the other foot.
And then your mom makes you sit in the middle of the fucking aisle in the Acme trying on sneakers one at a time.
We're showing our age definitely here. We're definitely showing our age. He's like, I can't even. You'd be like, all right, give me a size 8 from that rack, and I'll take the right shoe, and a size 8 from that rack, and I'll take the left shoe. I'll just have shoes dangling on the sides as I try it more.
As your mom is going up to pick up the ground beef.
Yeah. There was no cool points for clothes. We didn't have money for
that's when people always laugh at me because people have been to my closet upstairs. I mean, I got thousands of pairs of sneakers. I mean, I got all the way back to the Starberries and everything else. And then my wife goes, it's because she always laughs because she goes, because you got sneakers at the Acme. I said, yes, I'm making up for my childhood. Yes, I 100% fucking get that. Because like I said, there's no way to go up when you have Acme sneakers.
Yeah, there's nowhere to go down, definitely. There's nowhere to go down. I tell you what, them cheap Starberries were very good to play basketball in.
Well, those are great.
Starberries, I played ball in Starberries, and I'm like, yo, these are $20. I'm good.
1998 at Stephen Barry's.
Yep, I got a ton.
I think I bought 12 pairs.
Ton of those for free. All the Starberry stuff, because if you remember, he did gigantic media tours to promote the affordable sneakers.
Yeah.
So I ended up doing a ton of interviews all over radio properties with him, and they sent me a ton of free stuff.
Listen, if you go to Jamesway or Caldor, you're balling. What were you thinking? That's like going to Woolworths. I would be like, oh my
Woolworths.
God. Jamesway was high society. Jamesway was high society.
Yeah, I was like, Jamesway, Jamesway was like Caldor. You got to have some money.
Jamesway was up there with Clovers. I remember Clovers.
Clovers, yes.
Clovers
right next to the silo. Well, it was in Trenton. The Clovers was right next to the silo.
Yeah, I had Clovers in Marsville. We had a Clovers in Marsville, PA. Yeah, they was like, yo, I used to go over to that Clovers in Marsville and play Nintendo. I used to play the damn Duck Hunt because it was displayed, and I'd be like, we couldn't afford one at the time, so I'd be like, Mom sent me to the store. I'm like, man, I'm about to play a little Duck Hunt before I come home.
Okay, hold on a minute. I gotta get something.
Hey, it's us now.
Okay.
He left.
All right.
I love it. He's like, hold on.
We're gonna be cool.
There's a great
do. Anybody do any grilling?
Oh, well,
it's raining out here.
Up here. I ain't doing no grilling today and tomorrow.
Hey, brother, you're muted, brother. James, did he? Not you, James.
Oh, I'm muted?
No, I hear you.
I am.
I can hear you,
brother.
Joe.
Oh, you can?
You hear Joe? Right. I can't hear him.
T-Brad, you can't hear him?
Hey, you ain't missing nothing.
My speakers are
great.
racist.
Tim left and the black and white connection has been broken.
Yo, my speakers are racist. I'm like, yo, did you guys grill? Because I see his mouth moving. I'm like, damn, I can't hear shit. Yeah, I did some grilling. I did all my grilling yesterday before like 9 a.m. We got it all done, out the way. Was preparing to have people over to get in the pool and hang out, and it was cold. This is the coldest Memorial Day weekend I can remember. I know Jersey
pretty much.
Probably lost a little money.
Pretty much.
Definitely blows, I'll tell you that. If anybody can hear me.
He was T-Brad was just saying that it's one of the coldest Memorial Days we've had in a little while, brother Joe. You know.
He can't hear me either?
No, I can hear you. I have to translate for you because here we go. Now we're back connected.
Now
let's see.
My computer died.
I can't hear Tim now.
Oh my God.
It must be me. So if you can hear everybody, but I can't hear anybody, they can't hear me. It has to be
I
me.
can hear you.
See, we can all
That's
hear
the black on black connection.
People think it's not a real thing.
That is wild. That is wild. Tim, can you hear me? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, see?
I can hear you.
This is wild. I'm going to just jump off, man. I don't know what the hell's going on with my shit. Good talking to y'all, man. Have a great one. And
Oh,
go
look,
Giants.
All right. Yeah, my computer. I don't know if anyone can hear me. My computer died.
Oh no, I can hear you.
Yeah,
That's weird. I can hear Joe just fine.
Yeah, I can hear everybody. My whole computer crapped out. So I think that's why everyone's just like, we're going to leave now. All right, guys, we're done. It's 12:29. I literally have to go get Rice Krispie treats. So I actually ran to get the plug in. So, but it didn't work out.
Because we went overtime.
We went way overtime. Oh, it was fun. Good chat as always. No show tomorrow. So make sure you don't show up. But there will be a show on Tuesday. We're gonna have the big show on Tuesday.
I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm done. I love my wife. I'm done giving you hints. I want Rice Krispie treats. Okay, I gotta go. We gotta go make Rice Krispie treats. Don't ask me why. I have no idea. But for Tim, for T Brad, for James,
Get some food coloring. Get some food coloring. You could color them up.
We do that. We do it because we're Irish. Well, I'm Irish. I make him put the green in.
Yeah.
So I like colorful Rice Krispie treats. Make them like the rainbow, like the coalition, like everything else. It's a rainbow of love here. Everyone loves each other. And this is for Tim. This is for James. This is for New York Giants. Straight Talk, the Joe Spano Spot. And of course, on Bleav. Pod to you by the mighty FanDuel. Love everyone. Have yourself a great, safe weekend. And as always, we're out of here.
That motherfucker must have lost his goddamn mind.